have welcomed the lack of surprises like another tax increase. Burke says while it was a boring budget, it was a step in the right direction.
Making budgeting boring again. There's some big DA policy wins in this budget. I think first and foremost, the fact that we're finally giving South Africans relief, we're not increasing personal income tax or value-added tax, is very positive.
But the MK Party's Emerald Madlala says the budget doesn't do enough for the poor, and any tax relief will benefit only wealthier South Africans.
It's still managing a decline. What is happening is that you've got a few people who are so-called the middle class and the upper class who speaks about taxation. People at home, the majority of people are unemployed.
Parties like the ACDP and Rise Mzansi supported the budget, but called for sectors like health and education to be prioritized in the future. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The ANC in Ekurhuleni has found itself in a tight corner, now officially leading a minority coalition government in the metro. Mayor Dr. Xhakaza announced late last night his changes to the cabinet, appointing 3 ANC councillors to the executive. The EFF and Action SA have refused to join the ANC-led coalition because of disagreements over the composition of key positions. Xhakaza had previously appointed ANC and Action SA councillor to his cabinet and reduced the EFF's number of MMC to 2, a move both parties have rejected. Alfred Mushwana reports.
The multi-party coalition between the ANC and EFF in the city of Ekurhuleni has officially collapsed, leaving the ANC to govern alongside smaller political parties. The previous executive comprised of the ANC, the EFF and other minority parties represented in council. However, following last week's controversial cabinet reshuffle, which saw Action SA and the EFF refuse to continue participating in the coalition, the ANC is now governing with the Patriotic Alliance and the NFP. As a result, the ANC no longer holds the 50% plus 1 majority in council, with opposition parties now outnumbering the governing coalition. With the city's budget speech on the horizon, the ANC currently lacks the numbers required to pass the budget. It may also struggle to defend its mayor, Dr. Xhakaza, should a motion of no confidence be tabled. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
In the city of Joburg, the DA has won the by-election in the Ward 102, clearing the way for its mayoral candidate Helen Zille to join the Metro's council. B. Campbell Clutter won the seat by landslide victory yesterday, receiving more than 94% of the total votes. Her victory means one vacant seat in the party's PR allocation is expected to be filled by Zille. Tabiso Goba reports.
Johannesburg's Ward 102 is a safe DA seat, with the party having won it in all elections and by-elections dating back to the year 2000. With B. Campbell Klut's victory, the DA now has a vacancy for a PR councillor. The DA's regional chairperson, Wendy Alexander, previously told EWN the party was considering its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, Helen Zille, as one of the people to take up the vacancy.
Should a vacancy arise, we would then discuss what would be strategically advantageous, because there are pros and cons to all. Helen being part of the council, not being part of the council.
Zille is holding a media briefing this morning where she's expected to announce that she will be joining the Johannesburg Council as a DA PR councillor. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And Cuba's government has confirmed that its border guards have killed 4 people who entered Cuban waters on a U.S.-registered speedboat. Havana's Interior Ministry says others were arrested after an exchange of gunfire with people who allegedly intended to carry out an infiltration for the purposes of terrorism. Assault rifles, handguns, Molotov cocktails and other military-style gear were found on the vessel, and 10 occupants were all Cubans living in the United States. Tensions between the U.S. and Cuba have been worsened by the Washington blocking oil shipments from Venezuela, a long-standing ally in the region, to the island. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says they are seeking their own facts and will not rely on Cuba for information about the attack.
The majority of the facts being publicly reported are those by the information provided by the Cubans. We will verify that independently, and as we gather more information, then we'll be prepared to respond accordingly.
Gold is trading at $5,187.87 an ounce. The rand, 15.85 to the dollar, 21.50 to the pound, 18.74 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $71.03 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays already on the Mike 1 South. This is between Greyston Drive and Corlett Drive. That's due to roadworks taking place along this route. Please be on the lookout there. And there's also queuing traffic reported on the Mike 1 North approaching the Crown turnoff.
And in your sport, the Proteas women beat Pakistan by 16 runs in the second ODI to wrap up a series win with one game to go. Today at the Men's T20 World Cup, the Proteas play the West Indies at 11:30. Yesterday, New Zealand beating Sri Lanka by 61 runs. And in the Champions League, PSG and Real Madrid are through to the last 16, while Atlanta overturned a 2-goal deficit to knock Dortmund out.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. Johannesburg starting at 14 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 17 and 28. Vereeniging 14 and 28. The top story in EWN this hour. While Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's budget has been labelled as boring by some parties, they've welcomed his decision to not increase tax.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Get your brain in the game and win big on the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast on this Thursday, the 26th of February, the year of our Lord, 2026. A boring budget, some opposition political parties say. There are times when boring is good. When boring means steady, it means calm, it means predictable, it means safe. I'm okay with boring sometimes. This is a budget that has been described as one of restraint, one of consolidation, one that may even bring relief to South Africans. We've got two analysts who know these things, who look at these things. Kevin Lings is the Stanlib chief economist and will be joined by the maverick economist, Duma Kubule. I wonder if he'll be okay with that description. I'll put it to him later. That should be fascinating. Looking back at the speech that Enoch Godongwana made yesterday and what it means to you and what it means to me. We told you yesterday the JRA says you can't just start fixing potholes no matter what your intentions are. So we'll speak to people who've done it to figure out what it takes and how you can get involved through that effort if you want to. We'll give you an update from the Cape Town International Airport incident. If you were a traveler whose luggage got caught in the mayhem, what can you do? And 100 years of Gallo music.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 after 6, my name indeed is Bongani Bingwa, and of course, as always, there's a whole team behind the scenes. There's Karabo, there's Katleho, there's Bapelile, there's Rofiwa, there's Homoto, KG starting the clock, and of course on air you will hear the chocolate tones of Amoramila. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Oh, I love the sound of that.
Look at her get all happy. From chocolate tones to the chocolate man. If you're watching us on YouTube, Muteo Horipe is here in the house.
Morning, Bongs.
Are you trying? I see you're not as excited as Amo was. Dark chocolate is a good thing.
No, there's nothing bad about it.
You accept it.
Nothing bad about it, yeah.
So I've got a question for you two. This is our shout out this morning. What is a function typically performed by humans today, or certainly in the past, is already either being replaced now or will be in the near future by AI or tech that you look at and you go, I want to give that a miss, right? Particularly when it comes to your home or your personal life. A function typically performed by human beings that is either already being replaced or will soon be. I'll give you examples. Imagine some kind of AI or robot doing your washing, your ironing, cleaning your home. We've already got those things that sweep.
I don't like those.
Why?
I've got a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old that leave toys lying around. I'm already stepping on stuff. I don't want something in the house just buzzing and sweeping. I can sweep myself.
And cleaning.
It's fine.
All right. We've already got that. So imagine now if there was some kind of tech or robot or machine to do all your household cleaning, your ironing, your cooking. Hey? You're cooking. You see gourmet food and you ask the robot to make it and it can. Would you be okay with that? Functions normally performed by humans that are already or will soon be performed by machines.
I was about to say a baby caregiver, like your nanny or your live-in house help to specifically take care of the babies. No, thank you. Miss me on that.
What about surgery? I'm okay with perhaps an experienced, physician or surgeon making the decision that this is what you need.
Yeah.
Right? And the longer they've been in the field, for me, the better. But it may be that now their hands are a little shaky. It may be that the machine can perform in 5 minutes what would have been a 10-hour marathon surgery. Wouldn't you be okay with that? And you're all zipped up.
As long as the machine won't glitch, because imagine it has a scalpel and then it glitches and no one can switch it off.
Maybe there's a human still at, watching
Manning
this,
it.
right?
Yes.
What if, because we're thinking about it from our perspective today, what if the machines of the future will be miniature little things? So it'll feel even less invasive. They won't cut you up. They'll just insert this thing and it'll go in there. Chup, 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 a miniature little small machine.
Isn't that scary?
Why? What if it's effective?
Oof, I don't know. No, that
they won't do it unless it works.
And they would have tested it, of course.
Yes.
But shoo, that for me sounds scary.
A robot psychologist. People are already, didn't Sfiso Zulu tell us some months ago, about talking to AI?
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
yes.
It's getting relationship advice from AI. Sorry. I love you, Sfiso. But
if you're a person that doesn't like judgment and you prefer telling a machine nobody knows your business, as long as it's not recording the thing and storing it in some cloud computer.
I do think it is recording. I do think it is storing, because the fact that you are able to see your history, the things that you've searched before, the things that you've asked for assistance on. I do think that it's keeping the data, but whether or not it's sharing it with anyone else, I don't think.
Because also these things work on aggregation, right? So if people are asking this type of question, this is typically the answer they like. That information comes from somewhere and it's going somewhere. But do you care? Do you really think that your psychologist is not going to talk about your case, even if they don't mention your identity? They'll go and lecture and they'll say, I once had a client.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I once studied.
They'll change names and places, but come on, your story's out there. Give us a call on 011 883 0702. A WhatsApp voice note on 072 702 1702.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Let's look at some of the promises, a quarter after 6, I beg your pardon. Let's look at some of the promises that were made in the finance minister's budget speech yesterday. Some opposition, of course, labeling it boring, but I suspect they would have to say something about that speech. The DA, of course, taking some credit, saying a lot of their ideas were in that budget speech and that it reflects the general will or view of the Government of National Unity. Let's start, I suppose, with the tax-free savings contribution limit, which has jumped up from 36,000 Rand.
Savings and investment rate is far below the levels needed to truly create generational wealth and support local investment in the economy. To encourage South Africans to save more, we propose that the tax-free annual investment limit be increased from 36 to 46,000 per year. The limit to retirement fund deductions be raised from 350,000 to 430,000, allowing individuals to invest more each year on a tax-free basis. Madam Speaker, each year we ask South Africans to send in their tips for the budget. This year we got more than 1,200 citizens send us their opinions and suggestions.
One of the things we've spoken about on the show, and I almost wondered if that tip the minister got wasn't from one of our listeners. Remember when we had the conversation about VAT and how onerous it is to start a business, and a number of you phoning in saying all of the requirements and that people would rather keep their businesses and their turnover just under that minimum threshold to avoid all of the difficulties and regulations and the hoops you have to jump over to make sure that your business is compliant. The minister yesterday announcing further tax relief measures aimed at small businesses.
Renate Oosthuizen, a small business owner from Gauteng, had this tip. Minister Godongwana, please increase the VAT registration threshold for small business to 2 million. The 1 million threshold has not kept pace with the cost of doing business, close quote. Renate, you'll be happy to know that in this budget, the compulsory VAT registration threshold increases from 1 million to 2.3 million. We are taking other measures to support small business. We are raising the capital gains tax exemption for the sale of small business for older persons from 1.8 to 2.7 million. This applies to small business worth 15 million instead of 10 million previously. It will enable small business owners to receive more tax relief when they sell their business.
Of course, the other story that we've been tracking is the goings on at the Madlanga inquiry. Yesterday, what happened? Did you see a lot of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry yesterday? No, you didn't. Guess why? One of the witnesses who was due to take the stand called in sick. And it was a point of controversy because, of course, one of the things that emerged is that this is now the fourth witness who was called in at the very last minute to say they are unwell and are therefore unable to attend proceedings. One of the commissioners of the inquiry, Advocate Sesi Baloyi, yesterday questioning the veracity of some of the sick notes they are guessing. And apparently the medical certificate they were reading wasn't really even legible. And they're saying there are repeated cases of witnesses who are called to testify who then want postponements on the grounds of health. And so now the commission is considering issuing subpoenas to those doctors who write those notes to come and say exactly what it is that the witness will suffer by attending proceedings. But there was also a moment yesterday where one of the applications that was made got complicated and really, really quite awkward. Lawyers acting on behalf of a witness who could not be named for safety reasons wanted a postponement of proceedings, and one of the rookie errors they made was citing the chair of the commission as a respondent. And that, of course, got really, really awkward because, you can't be a respondent and be the one asked to make the decision about the application. If you follow my logic, have a listen.
Perhaps I should ask this. Am I supposed to recuse myself?
Why is that, Chair?
I'm a respondent. You should know. You should know why I'm asking. You've cited me as a respondent, so I assume you expect of me to recuse myself.
No, we do not. We do not expect that.
So why am I cited as a respondent?
Well, we imagine that the chair should be cited, and remember,
And if I'm cited, who decides the application?
We at the final analysis, we remain in the chair's hands. So whatever the chair rules fit or deems fit, we'd follow suit.
Yeah. With these applications, I think the suitable person to cite, I'm sure she's uncomfortable. She's looking at me. Is the secretary of the commission? Yes. Please.
We take the chair's wisdom.
Ever made a rookie mistake during the people, in front of the big bosses? I tried to study law and I just didn't have the time to commit fully. It's one of the first things they teach you about how to submit court papers, for example, right down to the fonts that you use, right, in court applications. It's 101. It's one of the first things you are taught around, who a respondent is in a matter, who an applicant is in a matter. Right down, as I say, to the fonts that you use for the main body of the application, right down to the footnotes. You can't just use, Times New Roman because you like it. There's certain conventions that courts insist on. So to not know who a respondent must be or not be in an application was a classic rookie mistake. And shame these poor chaps got a lot of egg on their face. I imagine there's a few brides they're probably not going to attend in the coming days.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Mateo Kharipe, 21 after 6. You've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, what are those things that used to be expensive but have become more affordable over time? So when they were first introduced, they were exorbitant, but now it's normal.
I can think of flat screen TVs. When they first came out. Do you remember about 2006?
Yeah.
They used to have those big TVs
with
a little speaker at the back.
Oh, man. Wanted
those
that.
things are gone. I wanted that too. Couldn't afford it. Right? Flat plasma. Remember when you had a
plasma screen?
And a plasma. Nobody has a plasma today. And they're just a lot cheaper than they used to be. Or at least they're more affordable than they used to be.
Yeah, as the technology gets better,
Right?
I mean, things do get
Yeah, that's
affordable.
certainly one. Amo, can you think of something?
I do think cell phones as well, especially smartphones. There was a time when they were very expensive. I'm not talking about your
Even entry-level ones. Yeah.
Yes. Even entry-level ones were so pricey. But now you can still have your WhatsApp, you can still have Facebook, IG, all of these on one phone. Your memory is good enough to carry all of that. You have a quality camera, even if the phone costs like 1,000 rand.
One of my aunts had, a touch screen phone. And I remember my mom saying, I also want one.
Mm-hmm.
She can't have one if I don't have. I also want to.
Flip through.
And she sits there and she'll swipe, like she'll almost hit it. I'm like, no, you don't have to do it that hard. She'll be like,
you have to go to YouTube to
when
see
she
that.
swipes, when she swipes. Shame.
702.
Weather.
What conditions can you expect on this Thursday? A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Isolated afternoon showers are expected. Temperatures maxing at 27 degrees in Jozi. 28 is your high in Vereniging and Pretoria. Bloemfontein maxes at 26. Gqeberha and East London 29. 25, I beg your pardon. It's 29 in Durban and Bombela. Cape Town, a cloudy day, maxing at 23.
EWN Traffic.
Now, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, queuing traffic on the N3 North already between the Elands interchange and the Geldenes turnoff. This is due to roadworks. And then we also have got queuing traffic on the Mark 1 North between Boysons and Car Street. This is now due to the peak time delays at this particular time of this morning. Traveling in the city of Tshwane, do expect delays on the R80 East approaching Eskom Pothole exit. This is also due to peak time delays. I'll have more traffic updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
February may be the month of love, but your hairdresser won't be feeling the love if you're late for the appointment. Unfortunately, the Outsurance pointsmen are there to ease traffic congestion so you can get to the salon on time. With Outsurance pointsmen on the roads for the past 20 years, we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk, it's 25 minutes after 6 o'clock. Things you need to know at this hour. It's an unbelievable story in New Zealand. I wonder, is there a political stunt you have fallen for or that you've rolled your eyes? Because sometimes politicians will do these extra things just to get your attention and votes and to give you the sense that they care or that they can relate. So in Wellington, one of New Zealand's major cities, residents are facing a dilemma after millions of litres of raw sewage spilled into the ocean following the breakdown of a wastewater plant. Now, the Wellington mayor, one Andrew Little, took an afternoon dip yesterday to show that the water was safe. Monitoring, of course, suggests that the risk is, as far as infection and contamination, is low. And to illustrate this point, he took a dip into the ocean. Are there areas that you think, I'm still not drinking the water from Hammanskraal? I don't care if Dr. Nasipi Moya drinks it. I'm not saying she has, but you get what I mean? Are there places where you go, I'm not dipping into the Vaal River? I don't care what the mayor, I don't care if the president dips in. Are there political stunts you've rolled your eyes when watching? Now, University of Kyoto has unveiled what they are calling the Buddharoid. It's a two-legged monk that's also a robot powered by AI and can apparently offer spiritual guidance and may help ease the shortage of human monks. Not many Japanese young people want to be monks these days, so now they've got robot monks powered by AI, and they're trained on a wide range of Buddhist scriptures, and they can answer sensitive questions that perhaps people might hesitate to ask a human, and provide a presence at temples with voice interaction. And that's why we were asking you the question, are there functions typically performed by humans today that are either already being replaced by machines or will be in the future? Would you go to an AI therapist? Sfiso Zulu already gets guidance from AI on relationships, which is why he's single.
I was about to ask, is he dating?
Which is why he's inside Facebook's California headquarters, on this day, a $19 billion deal was signed to buy WhatsApp, right? $19 billion. At the time, WhatsApp only had 55 employees. There were no ads. It was just a simple promise of fast encrypted messaging across borders. It now has more than 2 billion users worldwide. You ever sit at home and think, now where is my WhatsApp idea, right? $19 billion. American actor, two-time Academy Award winner Robert De Niro has spoken out against his president Donald Trump. He's called him an enemy of the country and has urged Americans to mobilize ahead of the midterm elections, and is warning that Trump may not be ready to step down willingly at the end of his second term, and has stressed the importance of peaceful protests. And on this day, 1971, the actress, artist, entrepreneur, cultural architect Erykah Badu was born in Dallas, Texas in 1971.
See how y'all groove to this. All right. I'm getting tired of your issue. You don't never buy me nothing.
Oh man, Tyrone, what a cultural moment. This is what we were listening to in 1997.
Can you imagine the first jam session for that song?
Akiri Luna, you're listening to Gom now.
702.
The newspapers.
Hey, Sfiso.
No, I'm an Erykah Badu fan through and through. I was 8 years old singing Tyrone. I didn't know what you were singing about, but I was
You wanted to call Tyrone.
Yes.
Would you go to an AI machine?
I mean, I've already
therapist?
started. You've already exposed me.
In the words of Dr. Phil, how's that working out for you? All right, what's in the papers?
Listen, Bongani, Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has apologized. He's had to apologize for any misrepresentation after describing a sexual assault survivor who became an advocate for women who were also sexually assaulted as difficult. So he was at some event and he was asked, I guess, by a talk show host or a journalist to describe people in one word. For instance, for Prince Andrew, he replied grub. And for the one F1 Formula driver, Oscar Piastri, he said winner. But when it came to being asked about activist Grace Tame, the word was difficult. His word for her was difficult. So Albanese's explanation is that he disagreed with language that this sexual activist used during a protest in Sydney, I think last month, when the Israeli president was there. She was filmed chanting "Globalize the Intifada," which refers to a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation. So he's now saying that there was some sort of misrepresentation in the word that he gave for her, which was difficult.
I've got an awful story from the Sowetan. It really raises the question for me. We're told of this incredible constitution that we have, but how much does it reflect experiences of ordinary South Africans? It's a story of a school called Tetelo in Soweto, Tetelo Secondary School in Protea North. An essay was given to learners. 150-word essay. One learner submitted 308 words and was then given lashes for every extra word. Or was it lines? I beg your pardon. I think it was lines, not words. But in any case, she was given lashes for every extra word that she wrote. So 158 lashes.
For going the extra mile.
A female learner, to the point that the Sowetan reports some of the boys in the class said to the teacher, "We'll take some of the lashes.
Oh, my word.
Give us 10 each. Let's
my
spread it
word.
around." And this teacher continued to administer these lashes with a pipe. The child is now traumatized, obviously bruised, taken to clinic, won't come back to the school. And the teacher, of course, as you could imagine, is back in the classroom teaching, despite community protests. Isn't that shocking? And we hear about police who beat up suspects, right? We hear about nurses at clinics who drive away young girls there for contraceptives. And I want to think ignorance could be an excuse. But what is it that makes the constitutional protections that are there in paper not real for ordinary South Africans? Is it class? What is it?
EWN Business.
Muteo wants to know about those things that used to be expensive but have become more affordable over time. I'm going to guess. I'm going to be a genius here, Muteo. I'm going to guess this has something to do with the budget speech.
Of course it does.
Oh, I'm so smart.
It was the economics reporter World Cup yesterday. So, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says after years of hidden taxes, government will make life a little easier for taxpayers. So what does the 20 billion rand saving mean? After 2 years of no tax relief, the personal income tax brackets and the medical tax credits will be adjusted for inflation.
Speaker, the President in his State of the Nation announced the deployment of the Defence Force alongside police to fight illegal mining and gangsterism. To support this and other efforts to intensify law and order, spending on peace and security increases from 268.2 billion in 2025-26 to 291.2 billion in 28-29. Border Management Authority has been allocated an additional 990 million rand over the medium term to build capacity by filling 738 posts. 2.7 billion is added to defense over the medium term.
So basically what SA Treasury is saying that they won't have a hidden tax for taxpayers when it comes to a personal income tax. Bracket creep occurs when inflation pushes your salary into a higher tax bracket, causing a higher percentage of your income to be taxed despite your purchasing power remaining the same or decreasing. It acts as a hidden tax, allowing governments to collect more revenue without changing the tax rates. The income tax brackets and rebates for 2026 and 2027 will be adjusted by 3.4%. Treasury will forfeit around 13.7 billion rand in revenue because of the adjustment for tax brackets. So a little bit of a tax break for you as South African households and consumers.
All right, where's the rand?
15 rand 85 against the US dollar, 18 rand 73 against the euro, and a 21 rand 49 cents against the British pound. Price of gold up 0.5% at $5,196 an ounce, or platinum is at $2,301. Brent crude at $71.06 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfisa Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is engaging President Cyril Ramaphosa about the possibility of extending its deadline. The commission is looking into possible criminal interference in the country's justice and law enforcement sectors. When Ramaphosa established it last year, he emphasized it didn't want it to take as long as other commissions before it, giving it a 6-month window to complete its work. But the process has been delayed due to some witnesses falling ill before they have to appear, while others have challenged their subpoenas in court and other administrative issues. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels.
I think we have said before, and it is clear that the Commission still has a lot of work to do. On the current deadline, proclamation that the president issued at the end of November. The commission's current deadline is 17 March, in a few weeks. And so obviously the question arises, and the commission is engaging on that issue with the presidency.
Meanwhile, South Africa's criminal justice system continues to face scrutiny after a new study revealed that most citizens believe criminals are getting away with serious offences. Non-profit organisation Action Society has released its inaugural Criminal Justice Index aimed at measuring how much trust South Africans have in the system. Around 2,000 people took part in the study, completing anonymous surveys through which they shared their views. Action Society spokesperson Juanita Dupree says the study suggests South Africans don't believe reporting crime will make a difference.
If people believe reporting is pointless and that offenders will face no consequences, the system's legitimacy is at risk. What moves trust is not slogans or crackdowns, it is certainty. The certainty that a report leads to investigation, that investigation leads to prosecution, and that prosecution leads to finalization.
And the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court in Pretoria has heard that a prosecutor was receiving a salary for 4 years while being investigated for corruption. Tandwa Musineke was first suspected of accepting a bribe in 2021 but was only arrested last year. During that time, she was still employed by the NPA. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 14 and 17 degrees, peaking at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N12 east in the Eldorado Park area. This is between Klipspruit Valley Road and the Golden Highway, and that's due to the peak time delays at this time of this morning. And there's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North leaving Spruit View. This is between Leondale Road and Heidelberg Road.
The top story this hour, the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry is engaging the president about possibility of extending its deadline.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, my name is Linda. I'm from Bel-Air's Park. I'm a 702 lander, big fan of all the shows, and I'm definitely listening today, and I'll definitely be listening tomorrow.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Okay, truck 7 has zero warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without My Way's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Guess what? The Dis-Chem 2+1 Health Foods Weekend is back. And this time, it's better than ever. Simply pick any 3 of your favorite healthy foods and get the cheapest one free. Look out for the Better Rewards icon and score an extra 10% off Better Rewards brands on top of the promo. We're talking anything from muesli, oats, sauces, spices, healthy snacks, free-from foods and more. Don't miss Dis-Chem's 2+1 Health Foods Weekend, Friday 27 February to Sunday 1 March. Only at Dis-Chem, better health starts here.
Hi, this is Teko Modise, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. Be a winner who knows when it's time for a timeout and play responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling Toll-Free Counseling Line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. 1,000 Rand for the answer and 2,000 Rand for the question. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. You always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance to get yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongs. This is Francis. Today I'm listening to you from Uganda. Hey, Bongs, for me, I think if we can get a robot or AI to do the subs job, I think it will be fine. Imagine having the civilians there. My God, my God, my God.
Morning, Bongani and the team.
Bongan, you're watching too much movies. No. A little robot going inside, doing a 10-hour job in 2 hours. We are not ready for that.
Many years ago, bank tellers were replaced by machines. That's one.
If anyone has traveled overseas or read widely will know that in South Africa, the petrol attendant job is fairly unique. In most countries in the world, you do that yourself. What's also happening increasingly, obviously, is cashiers. We now have a lot of self-service checkouts, including Woolies, who's now trying it out. I think it is a pity. We are a country that desperately need low-level jobs because of our education challenges. But on the other hand, also, you do get tired of dealing with rude and impatient cashiers and petrol attendants, and it's much easier just to serve yourself.
I would suspect it's the other way around. I think it's often the poor cashiers and petrol attendants who have to deal with difficult customers. So if you go to Tesco in the UK, no one to go avoid and hit their head and scratch their weave, asking for void, because already these processes are automated. We're asking you, what are those functions typically performed by humans are already or will certainly soon be replaced by machines? Which ones would you be uncomfortable? There are already all sorts of innovations in the medical field, including, of course, being able to do operations in a non-invasive way where they insert little gizmos that do the job. Would you be comfortable with that kind of thing in the future? Let's talk.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, imagine a machine doing all your ironing. Imagine being able to see a gourmet dish served at a Michelin star restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a machine to cook that in your home.
No, if there was a machine that would cook stuff, would decide what my whole family wants.
You'll still cook it, just decide.
Just decide what they all want. Tell me what ingredients I need, and I will do it.
Right?
But a machine to help with that would be like a game changer.
Right?
Right. But I have, as a matter of interest, I come in like regularly if I've got time in the morning. I'll try get ChatGPT to write me a sport bulletin for the day, and I know that people will say, well, it's only as good as you prompt it. So I try prompt everything right. It still doesn't quite capture what the South African audience wants.
Essence, yeah.
So it will go, okay, what is trending worldwide, and it will give you a lot of American stuff, a lot of Chinese stuff, etc., etc. So to get like the importance of, we've got to start with the Proteas women because they won last night.
Yeah.
It fails to do that.
16 runs, was it?
16 runs it was in the second ODI, and it was unbelievable. They batted first, the South African women, and they posted 361 for 8.
Wow.
It was incredible. Player of the match, Dirksen made 90, Brits with 77, and Liss made 57. Dirksen also took 3 wickets and then took 2 catches as well.
Yeah, I think it was obviously a very good game, high scoring, very good batting wicket. I think we're very chuffed and happy that we've now sort of won the series. Bilaterals is something that we've identified we want to be better at, and
Proteas men's T20 Cricket World Cup continues today. They're playing the West Indies. It started at 11:30 this morning. Here's Spinner of Maharaj.
The main thing is we're taking each game at its time. Obviously, it was a really big game for us and a huge one. So to come over a line just gives you a little bit of confidence, moving into the next game. West Indies played an amazing game of cricket against Zimbabwe. So, it's back to the drawing board tomorrow. And like I said, taking each game at a time.
Also today, India against Zimbabwe. Yesterday, New Zealand easily beat Sri Lanka by 61 runs, playing for the first time in 8 days after their first Super 8 match was rained out. They fought from 84 for 6 to post 168 for 7. Ravindra took 4 for 27. The Black Caps must beat England on Saturday to make the semi-finals. In the Champions League, defending champs PSG scraped through to the last 16 after a 2-2 draw with AS Monaco. They advanced on a 5-4 aggregate. Atlanta overturned a 2-goal deficit to knock Dortmund out after winning last night 4-1. Real Madrid are through after beating Benfica 2-1, and Juventus are out despite beating Galatasaray 3-2. They lost on a 7-5 aggregate. The Stormers are in Joburg this weekend to take on Lions at Ellis Park in the URC on Saturday. Stormers assistant coach Davy Sneeman.
Massive. It's Shield still up for grabs. It's obviously important in terms of that, but also just important in terms of the competition. We want to be at top of the log around when it comes to the business end. So these games away from home is important, especially the one we dropped against the Sharks at home. That hurts a little bit.
And good news for Bloemfontein. The Free State Stadium has been recognized as a Tier 2 stadium. It means the Toyota Stadium now meets the required national standards to host Springbok Test matches.
That's good news.
It is.
There's so much rugby support in the Free State. That's great
huge.
news.
It's
yeah,
huge. I mean, one of my most favorite memories of Rassie Erasmus was literally when he was coaching the Cheetahs and he was sitting on the top of the roof of that stadium and he was using the lights and he was using, this is long before he was Springbok coach, and he was using lights like a green light and a red light, and he was sitting on the roof and the players could see the light, and that was the gameplay that he was doing. And I just remember thinking, this guy's incredible. Who is this guy? Well,
look at him now.
Now he walks into a room. He doesn't have to introduce himself, right? Cindy Polita, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hi, my name is Bongani Bingwa. I'm 10 years old. I go to Craigcole Primary School. When I grow up, I want to be a vet, and I'm so excited to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Bongani.
Oh, we can't wait to play with you too. And will you win 10,000 Rand, Doctor?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN traffic.
Delays in Tembisa 13 to 7. What's going on? More protest action like we saw earlier in the week, or is it something else?
It's something else today, Bongani. We've got an accident reported on Reverend Namani Drive. It's causing heavy delays towards Olifantsfontein Road. Olifantsfontein Road in itself is also backed up. This is due to the peak time delays as well as the roadworks that are taking place along the R21 North approaching the Olifantsfontein Road exit. So please be on the lookout if you are traveling within the Tembisa area. Otherwise, try to use the N1 North towards areas like the city of Tshwane and Centurion to try and avoid this backlog in Tembisa. Then if you're traveling on the N3 North, do expect delays. This is between the Airlines Interchange and Van Buren Road. That's due to roadworks that are taking place along this route. There's also roadworks that are taking place in the Germiston area along the N17 East. This is between Osborne Road and Heidelberg Road. Please be on the lookout there and expect delays. I'll have more updates coming up. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
Let's hear from Al, owner of Johnson's Cable, why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
I thought it was going to be difficult to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
For electrical, tradesman services, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The JBS Talks at this year's Joburg Film Festival offers something truly valuable for anyone interested in the business of storytelling. Join industry leaders, creators, innovators, and storytellers as they unpack the future of film, streaming, technology, and content creation. You can get insight on panel discussions, practical masterclasses, and conversations about where the creative industry is headed, both locally and globally. Be part of the dialogue at the Joburg Film Festival. Secure your seat today by visiting joburgfilmfestival.co.za.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Good morning, Bongani and team. This is David from Pretoria. When I was in the UK a few years ago, they used robots to deliver food. Can you believe it? I can't remember which shop it was now, but anyway, they used robots for this function. It's quite amazing. You order the food online and a robot comes to your door, a cart that's automated, and when you get the stuff out of your robot, it goes back to the shop, recharges itself, ready for the next delivery. It's amazing technology, I thought at least.
Good morning, Bongs. Good morning, 702 lenders. Even the teeth are extracted by the robot these days. But the risk is, what if the robot extract the wrong tooth? Wow. I'm studying AI. I learn a lot.
Morning, Bongani and the team. This thing of robotics and whatnot, or artificial intelligence. Imagine Orlando Pirates playing against Kaizer Chiefs, and it's just we are watching robots. We are not ready for that.
Come now. I mean, come on. Somebody was suggesting robotic police officers to replace SAPs. Come now. But there are technologies. I mentioned little gizmos and machines. There's a thing called laparoscopic surgery, right? Which is not invasive, uses cameras to go in there to be able to identify what's happening in your body. And of course, these instruments to perform the surgery. That kind of thing is already happening.
Who is the whizziest of them all? It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we'll tell you about potholes and what has worked. The JRA saying that you can't just, as a private citizen, start fixing potholes, and we'll give you an update on the Cape Town International Airport. In the meantime, though, Bokang is in Craig Hall and wants to be a doctor later on in life. Dr. B?
Yes?
You know that's what they'll call you, right, Dr. B? Are you ready?
Hello.
Are you ready to be a Dr. B?
Yes.
All right, let's see if you can win 10,000 Rand. KG, start the clock. Spell the word hospital.
HOSIPIAT.
No, it's HOSPITAL. What is 45 plus 15?
70.
It's 60. Which word refers to apes and monkeys? Is it primates or is it amphibians?
Primates.
Correct. What does the abbreviation DIY stand for? Is it do it
yourself?
Yourself. Complete the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 what?
Pass.
Words. True or false? The word photo comes from a Greek word meaning light.
False.
It's true. Greenland is a self-governing territory of which country? Denmark or Zimbabwe? Denmark is indeed the correct answer. And that means, Dr. B, you walk away with 3 correct answers. 300 Rand is what you walk away with today. Bit of a rough one there for you. I think hospital tripped you just a little. You have to be aged 10 to 13 to play the Whiz Quiz. And 10,000 Rand is the ultimate prize.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz on 702. Current events, developing stories, tough questions, your voice making a difference. This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, an update on 2 stories we brought to your attention yesterday. Many Joburg drivers are well familiar with bumpy roads and the driver in front of you having to swerve very suddenly because of potholes. Not to mention, of course, things like tire blowouts, dented suspension, losing control on wet or dark roads. So some citizens have taken it upon themselves to try and fix these potholes. The Joburg Roads Agency says don't do that because you may not meet the required standards, and that could put more road users and motorists at risk. So people who have done this successfully are, of course, Discovery Insure with their pothole patrol. Precious Nduli is the Chief Commercial Officer at Discovery Insure and joins us now. Precious, a pleasure to have you on our show. The pothole patrol has made a huge, I'm tempted to say, dent in the pothole problem, but you've done it the right way, haven't you?
Yes. Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners. Thank you for having me. Yes. So as you said, at Discovery Insure, we really believe in road safety. So we launched the Pothole Patrol in 2021. And it's important to say we launched it in partnership with the JRA and the city of Johannesburg. So they give us a mandate to operate. And over this period, we've fixed over 330,000 potholes. But more importantly, because we constantly go back and inspect these potholes, they have less than a 1% failure rate, which really just speaks to this idea that we understand the frustrations that citizens face, as well as the good intentions that they have. But it actually is quite a technical skill to fix a pothole. I mean, if you go out with the team, which I do often, they use quite heavy machinery. They use high heat. It is a high pressured environment. And so there's actually a technical skill that allows the potholes to be compact and to be sealed well.
And to make sure.
So it does require.
And to make
sure it doesn't come back.
It doesn't come back. I think importantly, based on what the JRA is saying, rather people must report where they see potholes. Now, you've got a pothole patrol app that will allow residents to do exactly that.
Exactly that. So you can access the Discovery Pothole Patrol app on App Store or on Google Play, and it's completely free, and you can report to potholes, and we'll try and get to it as quickly as possible. The team, we have 8 vehicles in the city of Johannesburg every single day. We can mobilize very quickly. It's important, though, to say and to manage expectations that we do, because just of the scale of the problem, we focus on high value or high volume roads, not high value, high volume roads, again, to try and reduce road accidents. So we focus on the roads that have high traffic, as you can imagine.
Precious, you wouldn't be a chief commercial officer if the word value was far from your lips. Appreciate your time. They're doing it the right way. She's the chief commercial officer at Discovery Insure. So if you do see a pothole, rather get this Pothole Patrol app and report it, and don't try and fix it yourself, because that requires technical expertise.
You're with Bongani Bingwa. 7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Yesterday, we also told you about the delays that were experienced at the Cape Town International Airport as a result of a fire. Thousands of travelers were delayed. Flights had to be rerouted. Power was lost. Systems were affected. We want to get the latest, particularly for those travelers, of course, who were caught in the mayhem, who may even have lost their luggage. Thabo Pateng is the acting regional manager at the Cape Town International Airport and joins us now on the line. Thabo, I appreciate your time. Order, of course, has been restored and flights resumed, but this was quite the wake-up call.
Yes, indeed. And good morning, Bongani. Indeed, it was a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call. And yes, huge impact on our passengers.
One of the questions I raised yesterday was whether or not you would be able to pick up in time if there was foul play. I mean, this is an international entry and exit point. If a malignant actor wanted things not to be seen, is this one way to do it?
Yeah. So at this stage, Bongani, we are not able to tell you this was a foul play. We are not able to tell you that what really the main cause is. We have the team that is currently investigating. I've got technical experts that are currently investigating the cause of this fire.
How vulnerable are we?
Yes. So far, the suspicion that we're having is that there may be some electrical shock of the old cables that were there. So we are with our investigation so far, we have not really. There's nothing that we suspect that we say is a security risk on our infrastructure, or we are not safe, or airport operations are not safe. So everything's under control, really. So this might have been just a electrical shock of those old cables, and we are now rerouting all the cables accordingly, and that is how we're able to resume operations.
All right. For any travelers whose luggage may have been lost, who are still uncertain about, who still have to deal with the fallout or impact, do you have any information? Where can they go and find out and get assistance?
Yes. So what was done? So 889 bags were left behind, and we have a process in place where which actually communicated on social media platforms, on our media statement as well, directing passengers that left their bags to come to the airport, and we have a signage that is directing them where they can go and collect their bags, and people have been coming to collect their bags. since yesterday morning. So I can say to the passengers that still have to come to collect their bags, they must just come to the airport, go to the information desk, follow the signage, ask our employees that they've been posted there to direct you to where you can collect your bags.
What about passengers who flew out of Cape Town but without their luggage? Where can they go? Surely not fly back to go collect it?
Yes, in fact, in terms of departures, as we speak now, we are able to check in the luggage and there's no bags that have been left behind in terms of departures.
All right, fantastic stuff. Thabo Pateng is the acting regional manager at Cape Town International Airport. So if your bags were left there, you can still go to the airport and collect. And he says no passengers left without their luggage.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
The T's and C's of the budget speech after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Khaliks. Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
The city of Joburg could be in the care of national government if it fails to clean up its house, and most of the South African men allegedly lured to fight in Russia are now back home. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A national government intervention into the finances of the city of Johannesburg is imminent. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines of Parliament yesterday after his budget speech, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana said discussions are already underway. The Metro's finances are in disarray as it struggles to provide basic services and to fix aging infrastructure. Godongwana has also warned of a crackdown on municipalities who can't manage their money. Lindsay Dentlinga reports.
In a local government election year, a lot is riding on who will take charge of the cash-strapped City of Gold. But Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says even before then, the National Treasury has to step in.
What form will that take is a matter of detail. But going to Johannesburg, we have got no option but to go.
Godongwana says while the correct legal path for the intervention is still under consideration, talks have already begun between the city's management and the Treasury's intergovernmental team.
Surely I can tell you now, my view is that national government has got to find a way of getting closer to the Johannesburg situation.
Last August, Godongwana put the city to terms that its grant funding would be withheld if it did not get its unauthorized, irregular and wasteful expenditure under control. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
On the East Rand, the ANC in Ekurhuleni has found itself in a tight corner, now officially leading a minority coalition government in the Metro. Mayor Dr. Xhakaza announced late last night the changes to his cabinet, appointing 3 ANC councillors to the executive. The EFF and Action SA have refused to join the ANC-led coalition because of disagreements over the composition of key positions. Xhakaza had previously appointed an Action SA councillor to his cabinet and reduced the EFF's number of MMCs to 2, a move both parties have rejected. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The multi-party coalition between the ANC and EFF in the city of Ekurhuleni has officially collapsed, leaving the ANC to govern alongside smaller political parties. The previous executive comprised of the ANC, the EFF and other minority parties represented in council. However, following last week's controversial cabinet reshuffle, which saw Action SA and the EFF refuse to continue participating in the coalition, the ANC is now governing with the Patriotic Alliance and the NFP. As a result, the ANC no longer holds the 50% plus 1 majority in council, with opposition parties now outnumbering the governing coalition. With the city's budget speech on the horizon, the ANC currently lacks the numbers required to pass the budget. It may also struggle to defend its mayor, Dr. Xhakaza, should a motion of no confidence be tabled. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
11 South African men who were allegedly lured into fighting for Russian forces in Ukraine have come back home. They were part of a group of 17 who requested help from Pretoria in November as they were trapped in the epicenter of the fighting in Ukraine's Donbas region after being tricked into joining mercenary forces. 4 of them landed in Johannesburg last week, while 2 remain in Russia, where one of them is in hospital. The other 11 landed at King Shaka International International Airport yesterday in Durban. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said earlier this week that investigations into the circumstances that led to the recruitment of these young men into mercenary activities were still ongoing. And former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is expected to testify today before a congressional committee investigating the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to answer questions the following day about his relations with Epstein, who died in a jail in New York in 2019 while awaiting trial. The Clintons had initially rejected subpoenas ordering them to testify in the panel's probe, as the couple eventually agreed to do so after House Republicans threatened to hold them in contempt of Congress. Democrats say the investigation is being weaponized to attack political opponents of Republican President Donald Trump, himself a former Epstein associate who has not been called to testify rather than to conduct legitimate oversight. Trump and Bill Clinton Bill Clinton and Hillary featured prominently in the recently released files, but have each said they broke ties with the financier before his 2008 conviction in Florida as a sex offender. Hillary Clinton spoke to the BBC recently during a wide-ranging interview about the saga.
We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. It, to me, is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus.
Gold is trading at $5,187.87 an ounce. The rand, $15.85 to the dollar, $21.50 to the pound, $18.74 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $71.03 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got an accident on the Albertina Sisulu Road. This is in the Kensington area. It's right near Marcia Street. It's causing heavy delays. There's also queuing traffic on the M2 East approaching the Geldenhuys turnoff. That's due to an accident as well.
And in your sport, the Proteas women clinch another series win, beating Pakistan by 16 runs in the second T20. Proteas men are in World Cup Super 8 action today. They play the West Indies. Later, India against Zimbabwe. And yesterday, New Zealand beat Sri Lanka. And in the Champions League, PSG and Real Madrid are through to the last 16, while Atlanta overturned a 2-goal deficit to knock Dortmund out. Juventus out as well.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. Temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: a national government intervention into the finances of the city of Joburg is imminent.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This week, all eyes will be focused on the budget speech. And as is the norm, there'll be a lot of talking. Yet, it's said the more things change, the more they remain as is. Like understanding that at Khaliq's, you still get the best value for money. Hand-picked quality business suits in all colors and fabrics. That you'll find shirts, footwear and accessories, jackets, blazers and chinos too. You'll get excellent service and tailoring. So as you contemplate your budget, rest assured that at Khaliq's, you'll get more for your budget and a lot less speech. Khaliq's, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock, the national government wants to intervene in the city of Johannesburg. The Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, saying that on the sidelines of delivering that speech in Parliament yesterday. Quite clearly, even national government now recognizes the metro's finances are in disarray. The city, the economic hub of the country, struggling to provide basic services, can't fix aging infrastructure. We've seen, of course, all of the difficulties around water, around roads and general infrastructure. Is it an admission then in an election year that the ANC coalition, the ANC-led coalition in the city of Johannesburg, has indeed failed. Instead of fixing your issues, what are they doing in the city council today? They're busy electing a deputy mayor. Speaking on the sidelines yesterday after delivering that speech, the finance minister also raised some issues around particularly the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. But firstly, I want you to listen to his cabinet counterpart, Buti Manamela, who is, of course, the Minister of Higher Education and Training, talking about the obligation recipients have to repay their NSFAS funding.
Let me be clear. Graduates who are employed and able to repay NSFAS or university loans must do so. This is not punishment. This is a social compact that protects sustainable responses. And at the same time, we recognize that many graduates are unemployed or underemployed, and this is obviously the third pressure point. Balancing access, affordability, and fiscal sustainability in a constrained economy. We have been mandated, as I said, to have a comprehensive discussion on sustainable student funding model, and we will ensure that this happens quite quickly and a decision is made.
So following that, Enoch Odongwana then questioned, in fact, the entire operation of the scheme as an entity, as a standalone institution, rather than simply as a program.
I mean, there are students here for having said, I don't see the value of NEFSAS, not the bursary, the institution. I don't see its value. In fact, we're spending 700 million rand on administration of NEFSAS. If we had to take that money, divide, and we would have paid paid fees for 9,000 students, just with the administration. All people who have got sentimental attachment to NEFSAS are attacking me. It's nice, I've learned that to be Minister of Finance, you don't have to be loved by everybody. You've got just to state facts as they are. Because NEFSAS is supposed to be paying universities for student accommodation and everything else, but in turn, they have employed 3 other service providers to provide the service they were created to do. Why should we keep them? Now I can go on and on and on and on and on. The Bureau for Economic Research has published.
There, of course, was the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana. Yesterday was another speech, not in South Africa, but in the US. This is, of course, the State of the Union address, which is sort of their SONA, if you will. Donald Trump delivering a speech that was 1 hour and 47 minutes long, breaking his previous record at a State of the Union address. There was a moment, of course, where he was speaking, and throughout the speech, in fact, the Democrats, that's the party that's in opposition, would not stand at key points in the speech where the Republicans were standing up. And at one point, he used, if I remember, of course, my logical fallacies correctly, I would say this was a straw man argument where he tried to misrepresent the issue of gender transformation. And he accused, in fact, he said that the states would not be allowed to rip children from their parents for gender transformation surgeries, which nobody anywhere in the world is doing. The Democrats, as you might expect, sat down, and he wasn't happy.
But surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy, I'm telling you. They're crazy. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country with people like this. Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
2 hours of that. That's what the Americans had to put up with.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Fascinated by the idea of Japanese researchers unveiling what they're calling a Buddharoid. This is a 2-legged robot monk powered by AI that can apparently offer spiritual guidance. I've been asking all throughout the morning what tech advances are either already here or on the way that will replace normal human functions in the future that you are nervous about, that you may want to give a skip. An AI chef in your home. An AI machine to do your ironing, an AI therapist. Facebook today, Meta as it's now known, in 2014 bought WhatsApp for $19 billion, a platform that is now used by over 2 billion users worldwide. And on this day, in 1983, Thriller by Michael Jackson hit #1 in the US, and it stayed there. This is on the album charts for an astonishing 37 weeks. Released in November 1982, the album has now sold more than 66 million copies worldwide. It remains the world's best-selling album of all time.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Quick traffic update. Amo, there's problems on the M2 East.
That's correct, Bongani. An accident reported right near the Geldenhuys interchange. It is causing heavy delays just as you approach the turnoff. As a result, traffic remains backed up along the N3 north towards the Geldenhuys interchange. And then if you're traveling in Kensington, do expect more traffic volumes along Albertina Sisulu Drive. An accident reported right near Marcia Street, also slowing things down there. And if you're traveling on the M1 north, do expect peak time delays between Boysons and Car Street. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
So remember yesterday we were trying to figure out what on earth was going on the corners of West Street and Rivonia Road in Sandton. We could see Cell C branding around these old filing cabinets that were just sitting there in the corner. So what we've now found out, as people have been suggesting on social media, that it was something to do with corporate bureaucracy and outdated business practices. So it was an art piece about information overload. Somebody saying it's also about exposing business secrets, but really a commentary on digital transformation and how businesses that are still stuck in the paper age are going to be left behind. So Cell C says business is very simple. Connectivity ought to be the backbone of every business, and cloud solutions ought to be the engine of modern growth. And so Cell C is here to help your business create, build, or scale. Cell C Business. Nothing should stop your business.
Hi, this is Anlia Itzebet, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. A reminder that you can still shoot for the stars while playing responsibly. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counselling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
Naked people never skip leg day. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they've got more time for lunges and Romanian deadlifts. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start working out, like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
When we talk about protecting children, what do we really mean? Is it just a roof over their heads, or is it stability, therapy, schooling, and care that helps them truly feel safe? Today on Afternoon Drive with John Polman, the Dis-Chem Foundation and Hearts of Hope will be speaking about the vital role children's homes play and why these safe spaces are more important than ever. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card helps children's homes like Hearts of Hope running. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Let's reflect back now on the big speech that was yesterday. The finance minister delivering the 2026 budget speech. And unlike the theatrics of last year, no major drama in Parliament. It's been welcomed across the board as really signaling fiscal discipline, a budget of restraint, a budget that will bring some relief to South Africans. I've got two guests who are able to crunch the numbers and look at the bigger picture. We've got Duma Gubule. I call him a maverick economist. I'm not sure if he will be happy with that description. And Kevin Lings, who is, of course, the Stanlib chief economist, also joining us on the line. Welcome to you both, and thank you for your time. Kevin, let me start with you. This was a budget that comes at a time of cautious optimism A lot of people saying that this was one of discipline, and it's a budget that shows the maturity of where we find ourselves. Do you agree?
Hi, Bongani. Yeah, I do agree. The focus was undoubtedly on continuing the fiscal consolidation path that the minister started a little while ago. And yeah, he has to do that. The debt level is exceedingly high. The interest cost of debt getting out of hand. Credit ratings had been revised down dramatically. You've got to put the fiscal position in better shape before you can kind of move forward. And obviously there's a lot of focus on various expenditure items that people want more money spent, etc. But you can't just keep spending money you don't have. And so this is about trying to get, first and foremost, the fiscal position in better shape. And at the same time, I must say, as you go through the detail, it's very clear that government also wants to improve the quality of spending. So if a government department says, oh, I need more money, the focus is now not just let me give that department more money. The focus is how do I get that department to use the money they've been given a lot more efficiently? And I think that's long overdue. So the markets applauded the budget. I think the international credit rating agencies will do the same thing. The missing ingredient within the budget, of course, is there enough being focused on growing the economy? And if you look at the government's forecast for growth, it's still not even going above 2%. And so that's the missing element to the debate.
We'll come to that growth point in a moment. Duma, let me welcome you to the conversation. I describe you as a maverick economist because you often offer the contrarian position to this. Welcome this budget across the board mostly. What was your view?
You know, Bongani, thanks for the invite. We're still going through the details, but my view is that the markets will applaud this budget, and financial markets, the 5 banks and 2 insurance companies will applaud this budget. But 40.8 million South Africans who lived below the poverty line in 2023, there's nothing to celebrate in this budget. There is nothing in the budget on 12.4 million people who are unemployed and how to address the second highest unemployment rate in the world. In my view, Bongani, the ultimate objective of the budget is to grow the economy and reduce the unemployment rate, not to balance the books. A rising debt burden is a symptom of a broken economy, and our economy has been broken for a very long time. We've had chronically low GDP growth for 17 years, 1.1% GDP growth. GDP per capita last year was lower than it was in 2007, and we're heading for 2 decades of declining living standards. We can't continue like this, and I, quite frankly, I'm tired of this focus on this debt problem, and we must focus on growing this economy and reducing unemployment, and that the debt will take care of itself. And right. I don't agree. Yeah, that's basically, yeah.
All right, okay, we'll come back to you in a moment. I mean, Kevin, those are fair points that Duma is making. It's got to be growth, even with the best optimistic projections. We're still well below the global average of 3.3%. This is at a time when we are seeing commodities boom. In fact, part of the revenue windfall was because of that. So many missed opportunities. Duma's right.
Absolutely. So the growth rate over the last 10 years, the average is below 1%. The population grows at 1.4%. So yeah, where the growth rate is nowhere near, not even close. Even if it got to 2%, the growth rate is nowhere near the level that is required to create the jobs just to deal with the growth in the population, let alone the unemployment rate. So the question then becomes, how do we grow the economy? And I don't know that we're fully addressing that. We keep on saying, well, the only way to grow this economy is that government has to step in and provide ever more resources. And the problem fundamentally with that argument is government has run out of resources. Government debt got too big. The interest cost of debt was, up at 1.2 billion rand a day. And if you just stop and think about that, I was looking at the cost of a university recently, and it hasn't been built, but the cost was 1 billion rand. That's one day's interest in South Africa. So you just can't keep on with that same path because the debt level is just completely unsustainable. You have to bring that under control. But at the same time, you've got to grow the economy. So what's the solution? You've got no alternative. You've got to make much greater use of the private sector. And that's where the reform process comes in, private-public partnerships. And there are elements of that. It's just taking so long to implement. And so what I would like to have seen in the budget is a much, much higher degree of urgency around the implementation of key private-public partnerships to build infrastructure. And then I think we've got a platform to grow from. So yes, the growth is nowhere near what it needs to be, but we can't simply say, oh, government must get more indebted, government must, devote more resources, because where's the resources coming from? Borrowing ever more is not the solution under these circumstances.
Are you encouraged at all, Duma, the T's and C's, some of what Kevin was talking about, not just giving departments money, but being able to get them to account for how it is spent, things like eliminating ghost workers, for example, addressing the issue of suspended officials who stay on the payroll even though they're no longer doing the work. Some of those T's and C's in terms of how that money is spent. Are there any green shoots, any light you are seeing in those tunnels?
Yes, those are all good things. But I just want to say this thing about public-private partnerships. When I look at the budget, the smallest item of public investment is those PPPs. On average, it's about 2.5% of public spending. So the government has said they're going to spend 1.1 trillion on infrastructure, and I haven't looked at the number. It's obviously, whenever I look at it, it's 2.5% of the total. So we've been talking about these public-private partnerships for 2 decades. And if you look at any random budget over the past 2 decades, these public-private partnerships do not deliver anything. So why should we continue to believe in something that has been shown for 2 decades not to deliver anything for South Africans? I just don't get it,
Kevin, they don't deliver anything? This 1 trillion rollout for infrastructure over the next 3 years, you expect nothing from it?
Oh, no, I think it's starting to deliver real results. I would say, it has taken a long time, and the process of taking time is really around deregulation and getting the system to accommodate the private sector. But, if you go back to January 23, when the government deregulated the energy sector and said the private sector can build any size renewable energy project it wants, subsequent to that decision, 17,000 megawatts of renewable energy has been built by the private sector. Alone last year, 601 companies just last year registered their renewable energy projects with NERSA. There's just no doubt that when you deregulate and you allow the private sector in, it is responding. And I suspect you're going to see exactly that same response now for the rail sector. If you look at a company called Traction, South Africa's biggest private sector rail operator, they don't operate in South Africa, they operate in the rest of Africa. They recently invested 3.4 billion in locomotives and wagons in order to boost South Africa's rail sector. 11 rail operators have been appointed to run rail in South Africa. We've been told by government they're going to be up and running in the first quarter next year. No, I think there are definite proof points. The Philippines company has signed a 25-year contract to run Pier 2 Harbour. They own 49% of Pier 2. That Philippines company, all they do is run harbours. They run 34 harbours around the world, all fairly efficiently. I've got no doubt that company will improve the efficiency of Durban Harbour. No, there are lots of proof points. What isn't happening is that you're not seeing that in terms of GDP growth. You're not seeing that yet in terms of employment creation. And that's what we need to sort of hasten, is try and get these projects much more visible, much more understood, and try and get more tangible results.
I appreciate you both. Two views there on the budget. Duma Kubule is an economist and Kevin Lings is the Stanlib chief economist. Somebody else who was keeping a beady eye on developments yesterday was our own Muteo Kwaripe. But of course, there are other business stories happening. Muteo, it's not all about the budget. Let's talk APSA now. They're looking back on the festive season spending and they're liking what they see.
They're liking what they're seeing, but they're also picking up a consumer that's been quite stressed financially. South Africa's 2025 festive season delivered the expected seasonal uplift, but APSA's latest merchant spend analytics data reveals a more cautious and financially stretched consumer beneath the surface. While card spending rose 10% month on month in December, the year-on-year spend declined by 3%. This means that although consumers continue to participate in festive cycles, real purchasing power remains under pressure.
So whilst the minister had a few carrots for taxpayers, he had a bit of a stick for municipalities.
Yeah, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana issued a strong warning to badly run municipalities. In his budget speech, Godongwana said 86 billion rand had been allocated to local government to support the provision of free basic services to 11.2 million households in the country. Godongwana said various structural reforms were underway, including a comprehensive review of the local government fiscal framework. He warned that revenue collected for a specific purpose had to be used for that purpose. So he made the example that Johannesburg's water revenue is at 12 billion rand, but only 1.3 billion is allocated to Joburg Water for capital expenditure. He says failure to meet such targets would now result in budget cuts.
All right, where are we with your indicators?
The rand at 15 rand 86 against the US dollar, 18 rand 74 against the euro, 21 rand 50 cents against the British pound. Price of gold is up 0.5% at $5,199 an ounce, while platinum is at $2,290. Brent crude at $70.82 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk we go. The other national story, of course, that does need some money is agriculture, particularly foot and mouth disease. Sfiso.
That's right, Bongani. The National Treasury says it's working with the Department of Agriculture to find funds to pay for the vaccines it's importing to deal with the disease that is threatening farming across the country. 28 million vaccine doses will have to be procured to inject at least 80% of the national herd by the end of the year. Treasury Director General Duncan Peterser says the underspend on grants within the department has already been earmarked for this purpose. Lindsay Dentlinga reports.
While the President announced during his State of the Nation address 2 weeks ago that foot and mouth disease would be classified a national disaster, the department told Parliament on Tuesday no official declaration has yet been issued that would unlock an emergency response or financing. Speaking ahead of yesterday's budget tabling, Treasury Director General Duncan Peterser said money has already been identified within the department's budget that can be redirected towards the national vaccination campaign.
That's to the value of about 400 million, and that will give them enough runway to get towards the end of the year to deal with foot and mouth.
Peterser says financing to bolster local vaccine capability is also under consideration.
We are talking to them through the budget facility for infrastructure about making a capital investment in the Onder support facility so that we have vaccine production capabilities going forward.
1 million doses of vaccine from Argentina arrived in South Africa over the past weekend, and more shipments are expected in the coming weeks. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The city of Joburg says almost 80% of printed trading permits have not been collected. The Department of Economic Development revealed this yesterday at a meeting with inner city informal traders. The traders had met with officials to complain that they have not received their permits, and they are saying that they are being removed by the Metro officers. Jabuli Lembata reports.
The Department of Economic Development said while it acknowledges that it still needs to go through thousands of applications, it says over 900 of those who have been approved have not collected their permits. The traders also suggested that the department keeps a database so that they are clear on who was given a permit. They also suggested that their block leaders be given a letter of authority and are recognized as people responsible for groups of people to keep communication singular. A burning issue that was also raised is the lack of demarcated areas while the traders wait for their permits. The department's Patson Khoza says they have put that as a priority. The traders also requested that their complaints of police brutality by JMPD officials be investigated. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
South Africa's criminal justice system continues to face scrutiny after a new study revealed that most citizens believe criminals are getting away with serious offences. Non-profit organisation Action Society has released its inaugural Crime or Criminal Justice Index aimed at measuring how much trust South Africans have in the system. Around 2,000 people took part in the study, completing anonymous surveys. Action Society spokesperson Juanita Dubercy says the study suggests South Africans don't believe reporting crime will make a difference.
If people believe reporting is pointless and that offenders will face no consequences, the system's legitimacy is at risk. What moves trust is not slogans or crackdowns, it is certainty. The certainty that a report leads to investigation, that investigation leads to prosecution, and that prosecution leads to finalization.
And several explosions have shaken central Kyiv this morning. The attacks on Ukraine's capital took place ahead of planned talks in Geneva with U.S. representatives on ending the Russian war. Washington is pushing to bring an end to the war triggered by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine 4 years ago, which has left hundreds of thousands of people dead and destroyed many parts in Ukraine, particularly in the east and south. The Ukrainian Air Force reported high-speed targets heading toward Kyiv shortly before the head of the capital's military administration said Russia was attacking the city with strike drones and ballistic missiles. Ukraine has faced repeated overnight barrages in recent months as Russia targets cities with missiles and drones amid harsh winter conditions. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we still have got that accident on the M2 East right near the Geldenis interchanges causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North. This is in the Spruitview area between Leondale Road and Heidelberg Road.
The top story this hour, the National Treasury says it's working with the Department of Agriculture to find the money to pay for the vaccines it's importing to deal with the foot and mouth disease outbreak.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
What does this milestone represent? 20 years of Meetings Africa. What does it represent for South Africa's business event industry?
What this has done is it has actually shifted completely the role of the business, my sector space, purely focusing on them being a player, significant contributor as well into the economy.
Tia Data, the Chief Strategy Officer at South African Tourism.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
Guess what? The Dis-Chem 2+1 Health Foods Weekend is back. And this time, it's better than ever. Simply pick any 3 of your favorite healthy foods and get the cheapest one free. Look out for the Better Rewards icon and score an extra 10% off Better Rewards brands on top of the promo. We're talking anything from muesli, oats, sauces, spices, healthy snacks, free from foods, and more. Don't miss Dis-Chem's 2+1 Health Foods Weekend, Friday 27 February to Sunday 1 March. Only at Dis-Chem, better health starts here.
How would you like to lighten the load when it comes to getting your freight there conveniently and on time? You can with a tag. No scrambling around for cash or a card. Less time wasted. Choose the convenient way. To drive smart, download the Sanral app to link your cards and manage top-up payments for your convenience. For more info, visit sunral.co.za. Tags are the way to go. Sunral, an agency of the Department of Transport.
The JBX talks at this year's Joburg Film Festival offer something truly valuable for anyone interested in the business of storytelling. So there'll be industry leaders, creators, innovators, storytellers unpacking the future of film, streaming, technology, and content creation. There'll be insightful panel discussions, practical masterclasses, conversations about where the creative industry is headed, both locally and globally. Be a part of the dialogue at the Joburg Film Festival. Secure your seat today by visiting joburgfilmfestival.co.za.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning Bongani. Thanks very much, man. The AI robot stuff. Personally, I'm totally against them. They are good ones and there will be bad ones in the near future because of those big countries, China, USA. They'll use them to fight their battles and they will totally destroy human beings. And the other thing is it's totally.
Good morning, Bongani. I'm Mama T from Ridgeway. I would love to have an AI preacher every Sunday preaching to me in my lounge while I'm just eating popcorn and laughing, ha, ha, ha.
Okay. And presumably not taking your money, hey?
Yeah. I wanted to say she can take a popcorn to church. Shut up and laughing.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. A chance for you to win, in fact, 3,000 Rand in cash. So firstly, 1,000 Rand for the answer, then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Debucho's on the line today. And Debucho, you've got today's answer.
Hi, Bongani. How are you today?
I'm good, Debucho. Go ahead.
Yeah, 37 weeks is the answer.
37 weeks is the answer. Debucho, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Right, if 37 weeks is the answer, what's the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Well, I hope the men can take a lesson from the ladies. Cindy Paluta, what am I talking about?
Yeah, it's the cricket. They've been absolutely phenomenal, our women, haven't they? Because they wrapped up the series last night with one game to go by beating Pakistan by 16 runs in the second ODI. They posted 361 for 8. Play of the match, Dirksen made 90, Brits with 77 and Liss contributed 57. Dirksen also took 3 wickets.
I don't think it has sunk in yet. I'm just very tired. But yeah, happy to have contributed to the team. Taz scored an amazing 77. And then we sort of lost 3 quick wickets. So Sune and I probably had to reassess a bit and just build a partnership to make sure that the players coming in like Chloe and Nadine can have a go at the end.
At the T20 World Cup, Proteas play West Indies at 11:30 this morning. Spinner Keshav Maharaj.
West Indies have a way of turning up in these events, and we know the danger they possess from an explosive point of view, and they've got some batters in form and some bowlers that are finding rhythm. So making sure that we're quite clear in what we're trying to do and focusing solely on our execution.
The Proteas have been fortunate to play all their games in India, which West Indies captain Shai Hope says does give South Africa the edge.
I don't think that would deter us from what we're trying to do. We still got to play the same cricket we've been playing and assess as quickly as we can, because that's going to be, I think, the biggest thing for that particular encounter, especially when you have most of our games here, Wankidi and Kolkata, is just about adapting as quick as we can when we go there, because they would be more familiar with the conditions.
So it starts at 11:30, hey?
Yes. So what's been happening is all the Super 8 games, we've been in a bit of a sadness. Like I come home from work at 10:11. I know most people start their day, but I come home from work at 10:11, and then there was this drought after the Australian Open, and we went into the T20 World Cup, and it was amazing because we had 3 games a day, and then one of the games, and so for the past week, I've just been lost and find myself having to do actual adult stuff because now I'm not distracted by the cricket. So it is at 11:30. It's 2 games today because the other game is India against Zimbabwe. That'll be lovely at 3:30.
So no adult stuff to be done at your house today.
Absolutely all the procrastination. Yesterday, New Zealand easily beat Sri Lanka by 61 runs. A win over England on Saturday will see New Zealand into the semi-finals. Champions League defending champs, PSG drew with AS Monaco 2-2. They're through to the last 16 on a 5-4 aggregate. Atlanta came from 2 down to knock Dortmund out, winning last night 4-1. Real Madrid beat Benfica 2-1, and while Juventus won 3-2 on the night, they were knocked out by Galatasaray on aggregate 7-5. And in rugby, good news for Bloemfontein. The Free State Stadium has been recognised as a Tier 2 stadium. It now meets the required standards to host international matches. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
New deals for the Checkers extravaganza are here. Save extra on top picks, like Coca-Cola Original Taste Less Sugar Soft Drink 2 litre, any 3 for 69 Rand. Kellogg's All Brand Flakes 1 kg for 79.99. And Omo Auto Liquid Detergent 1.5 litres or capsules 14 per pack, any 2 for 145 Rand. Save 75 Rand. Valid until 1 March, only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Switching was so quick and easy. I'm happy with the premium that I'm paying now.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a guaranteed premium for 12 months even if you claim?
for electrical, tradesman services and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
When we talk about protecting children, what do we really mean? Is it just a roof over their heads, or is it stability, therapy, schooling, care? Today on the afternoon drive, John Perlman will be speaking to the Dis-Chem Foundation and Hearts of Hope. This is about the vital role children's homes play and why these safe spaces are as important as ever. Remember, every swipe of your Dis-Chem Better Rewards card helps keep children's homes like Hearts of Hope running. The Dis-Chem Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 8, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Persia. Pretty tough. Amo, what are you seeing on your maps?
Well, Bongani, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N3 North. This is between the Elands interchange and the Geldenhuys turnoff. And there's also queuing traffic along the M2 East approaching the Geldenhuys turnoff due to an accident scene. And that accident scene that we spoke about earlier is now causing delays bi-directional on Albertina Sisulu Road in and out of Marcia Street. So please be on the lookout there. If you're traveling on the Mark North, another accident scene. Unfortunately, this one is along the M1 South right near Halton Drive. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. This is just as you kind of come out of Glen Hove Road. The M1 North, as a result, is affected due to the scene due to onlookers. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When your business needs strength, reliability, and serious capability, look no further than the Persia Professional Pickup Range. Built tough for South African conditions, Persia pickups are engineered for fleets, professionals, and agricultural heroes. From rugged load capacity to fuel-efficient performance, these pickups work as hard as you do. Whether you're building, delivering, or farming, Persia has a model that's ready for the job. Visit your nearest Persia dealership today and power your business with the confidence of Persia Professional. Landtrek, it's pretty but tough.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to OUTsurance. Please tell me, what's the question? If the answer is 37 weeks, let's go to Loyiso, who is in Soweto. Loyiso, what's the question?
How many weeks did Michael Jackson's Thriller spend on the US album chart as number one in 1983?
Well, it's an extraordinary record. There were non-consecutive weeks. It went further than 1983. The album, of course, was released in 1982. It spent an astonishing 700 weeks on the Billboard chart in total, 37 of them, as I say, at number one. It's still the world's best-selling album of all time. Loyiso, are you a fan of Michael Jackson?
Yes, yes.
Or the music, certainly.
Who's not?
Every time you hear a song, hey, you'll remember this 2,000 Rand that you're about to get from OUTsurance and 702. You know what I find fascinating? Loyiso, you know what I find fascinating? I'm fascinated by young children, some of whom who were born after the guy died, who love Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he's legendary like that.
I don't know any other artist that young children love as much as Michael Jackson. For a reason I'm not... Yeah?
And plus for the dancing too counts.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of artists who dance, right? Who can sing and dance.
But not like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I suppose that's what it is. I suppose that's what it is. Thriller, it's still... I mean, one of the things that amazes me is how many songs on that album are iconic. You recognize them even before the guy sings. Am I right? You know what song this is. Oh, man. Come on. Come on.
Looking out across the night, the city wakes a sleepless eye. Yeah, I'll always shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the nighttime, for walls won't hold me tonight. If this town is just an apple, then let me take a bite. If they say why?
Oh, man. What music? If you're a parent, send us a voice note. I'd love to know what music have you influenced your kids to listen to, but music from your time. And is the music you listen to because your parents influenced you? What explains young kids' fascination with Michael Jackson? Somebody explain. I love it, but somebody explain it to me.
Don't blow your paycheck on high car insurance premiums when you could be saving with Outsurance. So how much does 35-year-old Zanai save?
A whopping 1,180 Rand.
That's an incredible 1,180 Rand monthly saving on Zanai's 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA. Get a quote now and see how much Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142.
With Outsurance, I'm saving a whole 729 Rand.
729 Rand is a sweet saving on 32-year-old Parushka's 2020 Haval H2. And after 3 claim-free years, you get an out bonus.
Yes, I'm ready for that out bonus.
You also get benefits like 24/7 roadside assistance and loads more. Get a quote now and see how much money Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
Pedal Power Association proudly supports the Cape Town Cycle Tour, and it's more than just a ride, as every entry helps change a life. Proceeds from the race are donated to communities in need, opening doors to education, work and independence. And for every 20 cyclists who enter from Jozi, 1 bicycle is donated to a community in need. So when you pedal, you're not just riding for yourself, you're helping communities move forward. Go to capetowncycletour.com, proudly supported by Prime Media Cares.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Dali Wonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mujicha, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Burl.
I'm falsely accused when it comes to this first story. My daughter says I don't smile. She says I pout, which is absolutely not true. This is to do with pictures.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, I've seen that part. So, your daughter is very correct. Very correct that you do pout. And
if you go on my Instagram, I want you to find one photo where I've pouted. I don't pout. How dare you?
Let me think about that, shall we? I mean, that comment that you gave me yesterday. Yeah.
I see.
Let's call it 15 all. 15 all, shall we?
No, at this point, it's 40 love. It's 40 love to you. We're talking about what people do when they take photographs. It's one of the most uncomfortable things to do because you don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a put-on thing sometimes when you have to smile for a photo, right? And some people have it waxed. They look brilliant in photos and they don't have to take multiple photos because, you get those people where you take a photo and they'll say, let me see. oh, no, I don't like that one. Delete that one. Let's take another one. And then it's like 10 later, and it's like, okay, are you happy now? So anyway, this video, this content we're talking about is a man and his wife and a couple of fish. So in this montage of pictures, he is standing with his wife. They're on their holidays, and she's got a beautiful big smile on her face, and he's just standing there, and he doesn't look miserable, but he's just not smiling. He doesn't have a massive smile on his face. Then the pictures move into him, where he's been on his holidays fishing, and he's holding, various fish that he's caught. And he has got the biggest smile in each and every one of these photos. So now people are saying, he's miserable. He doesn't love his wife. He prefers his fishing more to, spending time with his wife, which I'm sure is not the case. It's just maybe, he's wanted to catch these fish, and he has, and he's overexcited because it's true joy. It's not just I'm posing there for another photo on holiday, So I wanted to ask our 702 family this morning, is this a thing? Do men struggle to smile in photos, or is it across the board completely where, some people smile and they really smile beautifully and others don't? I'm going to say for a long time, I didn't like to take photos because I was very self-conscious about my hairline. So I was like, didn't really want to take many photos. And if I did smile, I would probably I wouldn't do the teeth smile. I'd just do one of those smirk kind of smiles, But I'm really getting better at it now and taking more photos. But yeah, let's hear those thoughts this morning, Bongles.
I suppose a few days at the gym haven't hurt Kabazela, have they?
I'll show you. Welcome to the gun show.
What do you do? What do you do in photos? Do you smile? Do you find it difficult? Do you not know what to do? Or are you just a natural?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, heavy traffic volumes on the M1 North. This is due to an accident that happened on the southerly direction of the route near Halton Drive due to onlookers there. Please keep it going if you're traveling on the M1 North towards Caller Drive. I'll have more details coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Love is in the air. Ba-ba-da. With Outsurance, there could be some awesome car savings for you too. Like 27-year-old Liam, who saves an awesome 640 Rand on his 2020 Ford Ranger. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, you can ask for 500 Rand. They'll give it to you as 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. So SMS out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
If you follow her on social media, you'll know Baphelile Sambo
Mina, I
is
smile.
a natural.
I am a natural. I don't even like taking pictures because sometimes I look better
Than
if
the other people.
Than the other people. So I will just have to make myself, look.
I'm searching for words. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next to her.
Wow.
Because we've taken so many pictures together, Bongs, and all this time she's been thinking,
I've been feeling like I have to tone it down. Like, like if you're watching me on YouTube, I just have to anyway.
We were asking about functions robots can take over. She can be replaced by AI, ne?
Yeah, no.
Talking about that, Bongani, yes, we did ask which human roles would absolutely not want AI or tech to replace. Makwecha on WhatsApp says, imagine watching Kaizer Chiefs versus Orlando Pirates, then boom, the players are robots. He says, no way. Football must stay human. We need real passion, real sweat, real shouting at the referee, not a system updating loading at halftime. But not everyone is against this because some say they would actually love an AI preacher and an AI chef. But imagine on a Sunday, there's a preacher there preaching for you and the AI chef is making a Sunday meal for you. What a nice life problem. So our 702 lenders are for and some are against, but it's really a 50-50 type of situation. And then Sfiso, streaming us on YouTube, says he already had a robotic surgery and it worked so well that he wouldn't mind going back again. So he's trusting a machine with his life.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have the same issue that took him to surgery again. It's one of those things you'd rather not repeat. Hey, Sfiso, wherever you're listening to us from. From one Sfiso to another, it's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Joburg is expected to elect its number 2 resident, and SARS warns influencers not to relax because the taxman is still coming for them. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Johannesburg City Council is expected to meet today for the election of the Metro's very first deputy mayor. The council recently passed a motion to create a completely new office intended to serve as the municipality's number 2. Council documents indicate that the introduction of a deputy mayor is aimed at ensuring continuous executive authority within the city's administration. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Eyewitness News understands that the ANC intends to have its Johannesburg leader, Loyiso Masuku, elected as the Metro's first deputy mayor. Insiders say the ANC will formally nominate Masuku for today's vote, who recently succeeded Tata Morero as the party's regional leader. But some coalition partners have expressed dissatisfaction, arguing that the ANC should not hold both the mayor and deputy mayor positions. Meanwhile, the Finance MMC portfolio, which Masuku currently oversees, will be dissolved and merged into the office of the soon-to-be elected deputy mayor. The council also resolved that the deputy mayor position must be filled by a member who already serves on the mayoral committee. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, the DA has won the by-election in Johannesburg's Ward 102, clearing the way for its mayoral candidate Helen Zille to join the Metro's council. B. Campbell Klutter won the seat by a landslide victory yesterday, receiving more than 94% of the total votes. Her victory means one vacant seat in the party's PR allocation is expected to be filled by Zille. Tabiso Goba reports.
Johannesburg's Ward 102 is a safe DA seat, with the party having won it in all elections and by-elections dating back to the year 2000. With B. Campbell Klut's victory, the DA now has a vacancy for a PR councillor. The DA's regional chairperson, Wendy Alexander, previously told EWN the party was considering its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, Helen Zille, as one of the people to take up the vacancy.
Should a vacancy arise, we would then discuss what would be strategically advantageous, because there are pros and cons to all. Helen being part of the council, not being part of the council.
Zille is holding a media briefing this morning where she's expected to announce that she will be joining the Johannesburg Council as a DA PR councillor. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
SARS says its crackdown on social media influencers continues as the country's digital sector pulls in big numbers. The tax agency last year warned content creators to declare their earnings amid a push for higher tax revenue. SARS says brands are increasingly turning to influencer marketing as a cost-effective way to reach targeted audiences, boosting the size and visibility of the sector. Commissioner Edward Kiswetter yesterday touched on this issue again ahead of the budget speech. Nokayam Dambo was there.
In a statement in September, the Revenue Service justified the move as part of a bid to expand its taxpayer base. At the time, it defined social media influencers as modern entrepreneurs who can be classified as sole proprietors or independent contractors and technologically savvy individuals who leverage their online following to create commercial opportunities. In what the taxman has now described as a learning curve, SARS Commissioner Edward Kiswetter says officials are still trying to zero in on a definition.
We've also begun to profile social media influencers so that we can learn about that sector.
In the meantime, SARS says it will continue to handle the matter on a case-by-case basis in line with the current income tax brackets. Nogukanyam Dambo, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And Pope Leo will visit 4 African nations in April, including Algeria, the first time a pope will travel to the North African Muslim majority nation. The Vatican has announced a series of international trips in the months ahead for the U.S. pontiff, who was elected last year, including to Spain and Monaco. After Algeria, the head of the Catholic Church will visit Cameroon, Angola and Equatorial Guinea. The Pope is likely to appeal for peace and dialogue while in Angola and Cameroon, where long-running separatist struggles continue to kill civilians. The last papal visit to the African continent was when Leo's predecessor, Pope Francis, visited the Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan in 2023. Gold is trading at $5,187.87 an ounce. The rand is at 15.84 to the dollar, 21.48 to the pound, 18.72 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $71.10 a barrel.
There's queuing traffic on the N1 North. This is between Bears Nadia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. That's due to peak time delays along this route. And if you're traveling through Sharon Lee, do expect delays along Malibongwe Drive towards the N1 exit.
And in your sport, two unbeaten sides, the Proteas and the West Indies go head-to-head in the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup at 11:30 this morning. Last night, the Proteas women beat Pakistan to wrap up an ODI series win with one game to go. In the Champions League, PSG, Real Madrid are through to the last 16 as Juventus and Dortmund are out. And in golf, the SA Open is underway where 3 South Africans lead by 1.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Johannesburg City Council is today expected to meet for the election of the Metro's very first deputy mayor.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Your brain's a well-oiled machine. Now put it to work in the brain of 702. Enter on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 8 o'clock. The Joburg City Council today electing a deputy mayor. This, of course, after the council passed that motion to create a completely new office. This is somebody who is intended to serve as the Metro's number 2. Is that because the number 1 is not up to the job? And you may think that's an unfair criticism, but it was the finance minister himself yesterday who, as part of his warning to municipalities that are failing to manage their money, also said that perhaps a national government intervention is necessary in Johannesburg. He was speaking to journalists on the sidelines of Parliament yesterday, and he says discussions are already underway. We know Joburg's finances are in disarray. If your taps are running dry, nobody has to tell you. If you've got potholes on your road, nobody has to tell you. If you've got leaking pipes that don't get fixed for weeks on end, nobody has to tell you. If you're without electricity because, a substation blew up, for days on end, nobody has to tell you. And instead of fixing those problems, what are they doing? Creating a political office. More seats on the gravy train. I mean, how much more of an admission is that the number 1 can't do it than that? What are your thoughts?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, you are listening to 702 Breakfast. We told you that on this day, 1983, Michael Jackson's Thriller was number 1 on the album charts on the Billboard 200. It stayed at number 1 for 37 weeks, which is an astonishing record. Non-consecutive weeks, I admit. It was on the charts overall for over 700 weeks. Right? Just imagine, there's 52 weeks in a year. 700 weeks it has been on the Billboard charts. You work it out. It's an absolutely astonishing record. It remains the best-selling album of all time. Muteo, I remember my daughter, who is now 16.
Yeah.
There was a time when she was about 3, I would guess. Every night, this child made us watch This Is It. So remember there was a DVD made of the rehearsals for the show he was about to have before he passed. And she found me watching this thing, and every day for about a year we had to watch this thing. What is it with young kids and Michael Jackson? Are more your kids like Michael?
They do, and I think it stemmed from the movie Sing, where these little animals are performing artists and they sing different songs and what have you. And then this one time they released a special version of the movie for Halloween, I think. And the song that they were performing there was Thriller. And it was just a beautiful play about how, this whole thing, animals are coming out of the jungle and they're doing all sorts of things. But the song that they are performing to is Thriller by Michael Jackson. And my son was like, but who is the song that they are singing to? Who is it? Who's singing the song? And then from then on,
the rest was history.
The rest was history. All songs, we started learning them. It was like a whole
new world for them.
A whole new world.
So I'm curious, what songs or musicians or whatever, what music have you influenced your kids to listen to? And what music do you listen to because of your parents' influence? Muteo, you've told this to us before.
Yeah.
Jazz, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, Notemba, our jazz host here on 702 was speaking to Paul Hanma the other day.
Of course.
And I was walking past and I was like, I think KG was doing that interview with them. And I was like, no ways, I have to wait. So I waited about an hour until they were done.
Really?
Walked in, asked him for a picture. And I later sent it to my dad. And he's like, man, I introduced you to this guy. I should be the one.
I should be the one taking that photo.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Hey, Bongos and the team. Oh, man. On the topic of parents influencing your music, it's so funny because my three siblings and I, so the four of us, were influenced by different aspects of my parents' interest in music. So I ended up with the big band or interested in big bands, and we used to listen to 702, that show that used to play on Saturday evenings or Friday evenings, I think, of big bands. And that was my favorite. I hated it when I was 4 or 5, but now I recreated. I even have a playlist, that big band playlist. So definitely influenced by the Frank Sinatras, the Ida James, that whole big band genre was definitely influenced by my parents, and I love it. And I'm making sure my daughter listens to it too. Thanks, Kathy Santon.
My dad really gave me like a different taste of music. So grew up listening to Michael Learns to Rock, Rod Stewart. We also dabbled in Pavarotti and Friends. And then locally it was Rahul Masigila, Jimmy Zulu, Miriam Makeva. So it's just so vast, and my kids, they don't listen to any of that. Thanks, Ethan.
Hi, Bongani. My influence to my children, actually my daughter, who is 15, she likes Sade and Marvin Gaye. For some reason, I do not know what is it about these two artists, but it's mainly because we listen to soul music, since. So yeah, she's taken up on that, and she loves these artists and many more. But those two are the ones that come to top of the head. Thank you, Chumina here.
Hi, Bongani. Speaking of Michael Jackson, my son is 14 years old. Has been loving Michael Jackson since he was 10. No, it's not even about the dance moves. He just enjoys the music, which I found very strange. Thank you, Norma Jobeck.
Ah, man. Michael, Luther, Whitney, Paddy. These are all the musicians my kids listen to because of my influence. I'm curious to understand, what is it about kids and Michael Jackson?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. There are delays in the Ferndale area. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. Bond Street, heavily backed up coming out of Oxford Street. This is due to an accident scene. And then there's also queuing traffic reported along Hill Street coming out of Malibongwe Drive. And if you are traveling on the N1 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive due to peak time delays. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a man wearing his finest suit on his way to an interview. He's prepped 100 times, but he still has butterflies. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a potential lucky break that could change someone's life. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
This is financial year end. This is financial year end supercharged with the help of Zero Small Business Accounting software. Try Zero free for 30 days. Terms apply. Search Zero with an X.
Make 2026 your year for personal growth. Apply now for the mid-year intake of either the Master of Business Administration or postgraduate diploma in business administration programs at Wits Business School. Their MBA and PDBA programs will equip you with the critical thinking and leadership skills necessary to face the challenges of the evolving world of work and business. Applications are now open for the July intake and close on 30 April. Visit wbs.ac.za for more info. Wits Business School, sculpting global leaders.
Business and government are working together to tackle youth unemployment. Discover how with insights from Shami Suriana Rain.
Some of the barriers that employers face include young people not necessarily being able to advertise the skills that they actually have that are relevant for a job. For example, job postings will ask for things like 5 years of work experience for an entry-level job. And we know that actually only 5% of jobs that are online can require less than a matric certificate, where we know from Harambe's own proof points that people with less than a matric or a matric can do many entry-level jobs. So there's a question of demand and supply mismatch. SA Youth simplifies this with a number of inclusive assessments like our behavioral screener and other tools like the inclusive CV. And this, we've actually conducted tests to show that this puts more young people that are ready and fit for purpose in front of employers.
These insights on building South Africa's workforce are brought to you by SA Youth on 702.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Way back go Fifi, Pelham Town, way back go Fifi, Sophia Town, way back Selby, Wellington Square, Maravelstad, Bugle Hall, way back Hellfire. Dance some more.
Come on, man. So this month, on the 28th of February, Gala Music, Africa's oldest recording company, celebrates 100 years of shaping the soundtrack of a nation, discovering artists who became legends, capturing voices that defined generations. From Solomon Linda's timeless melodies to Miriam Makeba's iconic swing, Brahu, Lucky Dube, and of course, Mango Groove. And to mark this historic milestone, we're speaking to John Layden, one of the founders of the legendary pop group, who joins us now on the line. John, it's so fantastic to hear the music of Mango Groove. And of course, you're very much a part of the Gala Music story.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bongani. And legendary, gosh, I like that. Way too kind. But very much so. And it's really got me thinking in a way because, from Mango's side, I mean, for starters, congratulations to Gala. I mean, 100 years is something else, particularly in this business and the way they've done it, because as you would know, the global industry now is very much monopolized by three major labels, and that's it. So to carve a niche where you have a strong identity, namely a sort of South African and Pan-African identity, alongside the great sort of global swallowers, if I could call them that, it really is an achievement.
Yeah.
So before anything, congratulations to that. And you're dead right, it's quite a pantheon of artists, and it's a long story to tell, and we've had our own small part in all of that, and it's been a wonderful relationship.
I wonder if it is such a small part, because one of the things we know about artists and signing record contracts is moving from one company to another. You, as a group now, recently walked marked your own 40 years in the industry, which
Yes,
in
with
itself,
babies in comparison.
which is in itself a major milestone. But you've done this
Yeah, well,
all,
thank
of
you.
course, with Gallo. I mean, I've spoken to Claire about. I remember the very first video. She's sitting on a park bench.
Yes,
Move
oh my
up
God, too
all
late.
those years ago. And what's the key to longevity in this business?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I think you've got to really love what you're doing and mean what you're doing, and it's got to, in a way, Mango's always been about more than music, Bongani. You know, because I suppose given the times we've worked through, Mango's got a very strong identity. I mean, like it or love it, and you know it's Mango. And I think the key is just to, if you've got that love and that belief in what you're doing, and it's simply an expression of yourself and your values and who you are. I think that gives it the longevity. And we've been fortunate enough to have really had astonishing support through multiple generations now of South Africans, and including the media. We've really, that is the love and the support that has really carried us forward and given us the strength to and the inspiration to keep going.
Are you happy with where South African music finds itself in terms of being on the global map?
It's a tough one because identity is the identity of music is very, very important to me, and South Africa has such. It's part of what I've been reflecting on. If I look back at the artists that you listed and the styles of music that came out of South Africa, our own influence was very much sort of urban 40s onwards. The Marabi, Kwela, African jazz. You want that identity, and I think now in this age of sort of AI-generated songs, it's like drinking from a fire hydrant these days in terms of the amount of music that's coming out. And so it's striking that balance between being globally competitive, globally recognized, but at the same time having a strong identity and having something to say. So, and it's tough out there. I mean, it's it's a very competitive market.
Yeah, I would say the word is uniqueness, John, and that's why
yes,
you
that's
have
exactly it. You've got to be
Yeah, that's why you've had staying power, and I think that's why Gallo has been able to identify this pantheon of artists, as you say, who all had something special about them. Congratulations on the journey so far for Mango Groove, and congratulations to Gallo Music.
Takes me home, home dog. Home dog takes me home, home
dog. 702, The World View with Adam Gilchrist.
23 after 8, let's catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, we'll start with Donald Trump going after Bob De Niro. I almost want to say, are you talking to me?
That's what I hope Robert De Niro's response will be, ultimately. Yeah, you talking to me? So this is Donald Trump after his State of the Union address, where he basically berated Democrats for not standing and applauding his policies, thinking, they're the opposition. That doesn't happen anywhere in the world where the opposition stands up and says, well done. Anyway, so he's berating politicians and then suggests that they should get on a boat with, as he put it in his Truth Social post, Trump deranged Robert De Niro. Donald Trump likes to accuse people of being obsessed with him. Trump deranged Robert De Niro, he says, another sick and demented person who I believe has an extremely low IQ, who has absolutely no idea what he's doing or saying. Robert De Niro has been, shall we say, polar opposite of Donald Trump, and he's very much a Democrat, as is the comedian Rosie O'Donnell. And he then turned on her as well. I watched Robert De Niro break down in tears and realised he may be even sicker than crazy Rosie O'Donnell, who is right now in Ireland trying to figure out how to come back into our beautiful United States. I just get that feeling that if any other president or prime minister in the world put something like that out, they would be carted off in a straitjacket. I can't imagine your president or prime minister or my prime minister or the king or anyone putting that kind of stuff out there and thinking it's okay. But there we are. That's when you own your own social media site. I guess you can do what you like.
For me, it was also the nearly 2 hours long State of the Union address. Just the length of it,
was
the
long.
sheer length of it for me is what would be a challenge. Let's go now down under. This bizarre bomb threat linked to a dance troupe.
Yeah, if you're pinching yourself over the Bob De Niro rant, then here we go. Yeah, a Chinese dance and music group, Shen Yun. I believe they've been in South Africa not very long ago. I think they're coming here actually in another month, but they certainly have traveled the world, spreading the idea of traditional Chinese culture, rhythm and music, and particularly dance and the flamboyant choreographed moves when you have 50 to 100 all dressed the same doing extraordinary movements. But they are founded by a religious movement called Falun Gong, which is banned by China's Communist Party, which is why basically Shen Yun never go back to China. But they are meant to be touring Australia. Suddenly emails have turned up threatening a bomb attack on the Australian Prime Minister's home, Anthony Albanese's home in Canberra, if the Shen Yun tour is not cancelled. One of the emails, written in Mandarin, said large quantities of nitroglycerin had been placed around the PM's residence. In its words, his lodge will be blown into ruins and blood will flow like a river. Well, nothing was found. It was a hoax bomb threat. But it's just a weird thing. Shen Yun are tremendous fun and flamboyant, but you wouldn't think enough to trigger the threat of a terrorist campaign. But they're certainly having a look into it at the moment in Australia.
Now, Adam, here's a dad joke for you. What do you call a bathroom superhero? Flash Gordon. On the USS Gerald Ford, that wouldn't be funny.
Takes us back. No, right now, I mean, even right now, they are probably queuing and fighting for the toilet. 5,000 sailors on board the USS Gerald R. Ford, the aircraft carrier that is the world's largest warship and is heading in the direction of Iran, because the toilets have got blocked. I mean, what they think is it's not just the toilets got blocked, oopsie daisy, somebody put a brush down, but that the whole piping and sewage system is essentially not fit for purpose. The pipes are too narrow. And given 5,000 sailors doing their business, it's gone very yuck on board. Sailors are queuing incessantly. You can imagine the order on the bridge. Full steam ahead, number 1 and number 2. Iran can probably now smell the aircraft carrier coming. I mean, you think of 5,000 people anywhere, and I'm instantly thinking of cricket festivals where the toilets get blocked by day 3 and you don't want to go anywhere near. It's certainly causing quite a stink back at the Pentagon. But do you know what, Bongs? What would you expect for a $13 billion state-of-the-art ship? Obviously, the toilets aren't going to work.
What's that song from Flash Gordon? Flash! Ah! We'll leave it there for this morning's Worldview with Adam Gilchrist.
EWN Business.
All right, let's talk the Finance Minister's budget speech yesterday. Muteo Kharipe, one of the things that people were keeping an eye out for was those tax credits on medical aids.
Yeah, the magic number that came through yesterday was 20 billion rand. Finance Minister Inoko Dongwana says after years of hidden taxes, a government will make life a little easier for income tax payers.
For 25-26, the gross tax revenue is revised upwards by 21.3 billion compared to the estimate in the 25 budget. Higher than expected net VAT, corporate income tax and dividends tax collections improved the year-in-year outlook. As a result, government has decided to withdraw the 20 billion in tax. For 25-26, the gross tax revenue is revised upwards by 21.3 billion compared to the estimate in the 25 budget. Higher than expected net VAT, corporate income tax and dividends tax collections improved the year-in-year outlook.
So what does this 20 billion rand saving mean?
So, one, the personal income tax brackets and the medical tax credits will be adjusted for inflation, so whatever inflation is. And Treasury says it's likely to be around 3.4%. So for the past few years, government has been using budget creep, which is where they use inflation, and inflation obviously pushes you up into another tax bracket, even though you're not earning more for that year. So let's say you didn't get a raise or your earnings remain the same. They still push you up into that higher tax bracket. You pay more taxes even when you're not earning more. This time around, they're going to scrap that. You're going to stay at the same band and also avoid paying more taxes. But when it comes to personal income taxpayers, the top 13% of individual taxpayers pay more than 60% of personal income tax, and nearly half of personal income tax is paid by 7.7% of the taxpayers with taxable income above 1 million rand. So it's a very, very narrow tax base and a lot of pressure on people that earn just a little bit more.
I just want to know if you're buying breakfast.
I am.
Your indicators?
The rand at 15.85 against the US dollar, 18 rand 73 against the euro, and 21 rand 49 cents against the British pound. Price of gold up 0.5% at $5,194 an ounce, or platinum at $2,305. Brent crude at $70.77 a barrel. I'll have more business tomorrow. Later this afternoon, Stephen Grotes.
Almost thought, huh? Of course you'll have more business tomorrow. I'll tell you who's got news now. That's Fisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Minister of Finance Enoch Godongwana has thanked outgoing SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter for his turnaround of the National Revenue Service. Tabling the 2026 national budget yesterday, Godongwana was able to retract his plans to introduce taxes to meet a 20 billion rand revenue shortfall thanks to greater tax collection. Instead, Godongwana has adjusted the tax brackets in line with inflation and increased medical tax credits. Lindsay Dentlinker takes a look.
With a hot mic incident over the hiking of taxes a year ago now set aside, yesterday seated in their same positions as has become customary at a pre-budget press conference, Minister Enoch Godongwana turned to Commissioner Edward Kieswetter to praise him for turning around an institution hollowed out by state capture.
It is through the Commissioner that we've been able to transform that institution into what it is today, back to what it was. And we must thank the Commissioner for that.
After 7 years at the helm, Kieswetter will step down in April after President Cyril Ramaphosa extended his term by 2 years. Godongwana says the National Treasury will soon be able to make a recommendation to the President for Kieswetter's replacement.
We think that by the 1st of April, there will be a new Commissioner.
SARS has been able to register an additional 1.3 million taxpayers over the past year and collected 21.3 billion rand more in taxes than previously projected, staving off any major tax hikes in 2026. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
A new study measuring public confidence in South Africa's criminal justice system suggests that most participants believe justice for crime is either weak or non-existent. Non-profit organization Action Society has published its inaugural Criminal Justice Index, which measures the levels of public trust in law enforcement and the justice system. The report is published amid allegations of corruption within the criminal justice system in the country, and it contains input from about 2,000 respondents who anonymously completed surveys sharing their views on the state of the justice system in South Africa. Alfara Mushwana takes a look.
Participants in the study were asked 3 key questions: whether there is justice for crime in South Africa, whether they've personally received justice after experiencing a criminal offense, and whether they believe criminals get away with crime. The responses were overwhelmingly negative. More than 90% of those surveyed indicated that they believe there is no real justice for crime and that criminals do in fact get away with serious crime. Action Society spokesperson Juanita Dupree says the findings point to a significant disconnect between the reporting of crimes and the follow-through required to secure justice.
This is not a divided public. It is a near consensus that the pipeline from reporting to consequence is broken. That level of agreement should serve as an early warning signal to the government.
While the NPO cautions that the study is not necessarily representative of the entire South African population, it says the findings nonetheless paint a clear picture of the low levels of public confidence in the criminal justice system. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has apologized for any misrepresentation after describing a sexual assault survivor who became an advocate for women as difficult. The Prime Minister was asked at a forum the previous day to give one-word reactions to various personalities. He replied grub when asked about Britain's disgraced former Prince Andrew and winner at the mention of Formula One driver Oscar Piastri. When the host named outspoken activist Grace Tame, who was the 2021 Australian of the Year, Albanese said, difficult. Albanese says he disagrees with the language that Tame used during a protest in Sydney against a visit this month by Israeli President Isaac Herzog when she was filmed chanting "Globalize the Intifada," which refers to a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation.
If there was any misinterpretation, then I certainly apologise. I think that Grace Tame has taken what is personal trauma and that awful experience that she had and channeled that into helping, in particular, other young women, being a strong and powerful advocate.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected later. The temperatures will peak at highs between 27 and 28.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South. This is between the Baku interchange and Coilet Drive. There's also queuing traffic reported along the N1 North in the Fourways area. This is between Winnie Mandela Drive and Rivonia Road. This is due to an accident. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story this hour, Minister of Finance Enoch Godongwana has thanked outgoing SARS Commissioner Edward Kiswetter for turning around the National Revenue Service.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays
12 to 1.
On the Midday Report, every day from 12 to 1 p.m, we will bring you breaking news from the scene as it unfolds with newsmakers, reporters, commentators, experts and analysts. We'll explain the stories of the day, give you context for why they are important and what they mean for you. It is everything you need to know in 1 hour. From news to global events, business, sports, science, books and always some good news too. Appointment listening every day at 12 with the Midday Report.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
In business, the right connections change everything. It's the stability you need for that once-in-a-lifetime virtual pitch, the lightning-fast speeds that keep you ahead of deadlines, and the consistent, high-quality signals your teams rely on every day. Because when your connectivity works seamlessly, so does your business. Power your workday with fast, reliable fiber from OpenServe, built to keep your operations running at full speed. Visit openserve.co.za today to learn more. T's and C's apply.
In business, sustainability should share dividends with more than just shareholders. Let's make ROI include a return on integrity.
Get financial solutions for environmental and social impact. With RMB, sustainability yields more than good intentions. T's and C's apply. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Hi. I need balloons. Sure. Now, my dog barked. Pretty sure he said potty. Okay. He was like... At the Crazy Store, you'll find every excuse to celebrate. Hi, me again. My houseplant survived another week. Where's your confetti? And everything you need. Helium, gift wrap, dress up. And more. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find. To have a good party.
The JBX talks at this year's Joburg Film Festival offer something truly valuable for anyone interested in the business of storytelling. So join industry leaders, creators, innovators, and storytellers as they unpack the future of film, streaming technology, and content creation. There'll be panel discussions, masterclasses, conversations about where the creative industry is headed. Be part of the dialogue at the Joburg Film Festival. Visit joburgfilmfestival.co.za.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
I think the best photos are the ones that are taken organically, that are stolen, during a conversation or during a moment. I also find that amongst most of the men in my entire family, if you tell them to actually stand in front of the camera and say cheese, no one smiles. We all look like virtually dead, with no emotions in our face, or one of those fake smiles. But if I look at the photo albums where we've been around the dinner table or around the bar or the pool and we were laughing, drinking, and someone took a phone and stole those moments, those are the authentic smiles. You can tell that you can never fake those. Those are the best photos.
Bongi and Gabzela, Flores here from the beautiful Western Cape. Let me tell you, it's not about a smile.
taking pictures. It's about the side. Which side? Left side, right side. Yeah, people have a favorite side from where the picture must be taken. Yeah, I think that's it, especially for me. I think my left side looks better than my right side. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Kabazelo. I'm the one person who says photos must tell a story, to a point where in my running club, I actually introduced some poses. They've got names: Crazy Pose, Jump, whatever the case may be. So it does tell a story to the person who's going to be viewing those photos. And before that, they were just standing there, like they got rained on or something of that nature. I prefer a photo that one will look at and like smile by themselves just by viewing that photo. And I have a very beautiful smile, so therefore I cannot just stand. Thanks, guys, for a great show. Shadi, Kempton Park.
Sometimes some of us just look like hostages. What do you do? Especially in the work environment. It's one thing perhaps with friends or whatever, but when there's a sort of like the formal photo shoot, it's just one of the most awkward things. What do you do when taking photos? Cindy, do you like taking photos?
Hate them. Absolutely hate them.
Especially the professional ones, right?
All of it, which is the irony of this industry. I hate public speaking. I hate taking photos. I hate everything. I got into the industry because I like sport and I wanted to get paid to watch it. And here I am. And all of this is just a byproduct. But my grandmother would never smile in a photo. So even on my wedding day, my grandmother's standing in all the photos and she's just looked like somebody had died. But she was completely happy that we were married.
Yeah.
But I think it's an old school thing. They never wanted to show their teeth because I think back in the day, dentistry wasn't a thing, so people were missing teeth. If you look back at all the early 1900 pictures, nobody's really smiling in a picture. There's nobody with, gosh, imagine what they would think of us now, 10,000 pictures on Instagram of our
Every
food
day.
and holding a glass of whatever and celebrating life, where they all just used to line up. And so you had this one photo. So I think in order for your eyes to look open and for you not to show your degrading teeth, you had to be very serious. I don't care how people pose in a picture.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And the worst is kids. I once read a meme that said if you have 10 kids in a photo, 9 will be smiling.
One of them will look like
one
a
will be
hostage.
looking away.
EWN Sport.
All right, things are heating up in that T20 World Cup.
We're in for an absolute treat today because these two sides, the Proteas and the West Indies, are the two unbeaten sides of the tournament so far. And they're going head-to-head at 11:30. Spinner Keshav Maharaj.
Coming back after the win against India, there was a real sort of energy and buzz to our camp. I mean, you beat probably the best side in the competition if you look at it. But we're not getting carried away at that. We still know that there's a lot of cricket to be played in this tournament. So, dusting ourselves off and doing things that we can do better from that game and focusing on the positives and keep building.
West Indies captain Shai Hope.
The way we've been playing, it certainly gives us a lot of confidence. Like I always say, we've got to stay in the moment. Yes, we've played well to this stage, and we got to make sure we turn up on that day again. So, great start, great confidence booster, but those games are gone. We got to look ahead now. We've got South Africa next and then India after. So we got to keep playing our best cricket. If we can get better, continue getting better. If we're doing what we're doing well, continue doing it.
Also today, India against Zim at 3:30. Yesterday, New Zealand easily beat Sri Lanka by 61 runs. The Proteas women beat Pakistan by 16 runs in the second ODI to wrap up a series win. Dirksen made 90, Britt 77 and Liss 57 as South Africa posted 361 for 8. Player of the match, Dirksen also took 3 wickets. Italian side Juventus are out of the Champions League, though they beat Galatasaray 3-2 last night. They go out on a 7-5 aggregate. Atlanta came from 2 down to knock Dortmund out, winning 4-1 last night. Real Madrid beat Benfica 2-1. PSG drew with AS Monaco but advanced on a 5-4 aggregate. The United Rugby Championship has the Lions hosting the Stormers on Saturday. Stormers scrum half Stefan Ungare is expecting a tough one.
Obviously, they got the result over the Sharks on the weekend and looked quite comfortable as well at times. So never easy going up there to Joburg and to go and get a result. Saturday 2:30 and in Feb, never going to be a comfortable game. But no, we're looking forward to putting ourselves against a test against a good Lions side.
And in golf, the Investec SA Open underway in Stellenbosch, where South Africans Casey Jarvis, Dylan Fratelli and Justin Walters are all in a very early one-shot lead. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
16 minutes before 9. Let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Another busy morning, Amo.
Indeed, Bongani, if you are traveling on the N1 north towards Midrand, do expect delays coming out of the Baku interchange. An accident reported right near Allendale Road. There's also queuing traffic along the M1 south between the Baku turnoff and Corlett Drive. While heading towards Germiston, do expect delays on the N3 north. This is between the Elands interchange on Van Buren Road. Peak time delays there. And then in the city of Tshwane, some delays on the N1 south. This is between Sefako Makhato exit and the Proof Plus interchange. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hi, this is Carol Shabalala, Hollywood Bet's brand ambassador. It's more fun when it's for fun. Playing responsibly is always a winning strategy. If you or someone you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
What do you call someone who thinks outside the box? Creative. But what about someone who codes the box, brands it, sells it, rebrands it, and leads a team that reinvents it? That's a Red and Yellow graduate. Apply now to Unleash Remarkable with Red and Yellow Creative School of Business. A member of Honoris United Universities.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
16 minutes before 9 o'clock, the Clement Manyatela Show, starting, of course, at 9 o'clock. Clement out for the rest of the week, I think. Thabo, it's great to have you around. You had a great show yesterday. What's in store for us today?
Bongani, we're starting off with an open line. I've thoroughly enjoyed your show today, as I have all other days, and we will be looking at that Soweto pupil who's currently receiving medical attention after the teacher allegedly lashed her 92 times. She's got blisters, blood clots, she's getting medical attention, and this is a big question to those who say corporal punishment is good. Look how we turned out.
Look, And I hope one of the themes you guys will discuss in the open hour is that, for me, it's reflective of something that is just nagging at me.
Yeah.
And this idea that we have this great constitution, we have all these rights that aren't necessarily the reality of many South Africans. And I'm wondering if it's a class thing, right?
It is.
So often we see police officers beating up suspects. We often hear horror stories of people trying to access public healthcare facilities and the treatment they receive. That's at odds with what the law says. People trying to register marriages at Home Affairs. Same-sex partnerships, for example, meeting with, if not derision, even opposition. Right? And corporal punishment, as you say, is illegal.
Yeah. But prevalent in township schools. Almost normal. In black schools, just to be blunt, almost normal, and it's not challenged, despite what the Constitution says.
And part of the reason this story is out is how extreme it is.
Exactly, but it's a norm.
Right?
Yes.
The teacher who administered that corporal punishment clearly has done it before. Just took it too far.
Yeah.
This time.
And she could have done this before, it just didn't make it into the news. Because stuff that goes into the news is a small percentage of reality. So we'll chat on that. And I would like people who love corporal punishment to also call in and share with us their thoughts on that. We will also be speaking another controversial issue which will make me unpopular. If South Africa is made up of over 80% of Christians and we are such a religious country, why are we such a morally bankrupt country? If we are so moral, churches are packed. You go to the Easter services. And so is religion failing to do its job, not just Christianity?
Sorry, I'm struggling to follow.
To follow it. That's another topic.
No. Because we're religious. I'm being facetious.
I know. With you never know. It's hard to tell with you.
I mean, where's the contradiction?
Yeah, where is it? Yeah, where is it at all? So that's an open line.
Religion and corruption?
I got it. I kind of got it. So that's the open line. And guess who our guest is between 10 and 11?
Ooh.
You're not going to guess.
Give me
Relebogile
clues.
Mabotja. She's going to be our
You're supposed
guest.
to give me clues.
Oh, sorry. I'm not good with
A
clues.
second live EP.
She's one of us.
Right? And she's performing this afternoon at 4:30.
Is this gang up
PM?
against Thabo Day on the Bongani Breakfast Show? Yeah, so that's that. Between 11 and 12, we take a deep dive into the budget. We have various experts who are going to help us guide that conversation. All that between 9 and 12.
Thabo Shalom in Mashau for Clement Manyatela this morning.
Naked people never skip leg day because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time at the gym. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
New deals for the Checkers extravaganza are here. Save extra on top picks, like Coca-Cola Original Taste Less Sugar Soft Drink 2 litres, 3 for 69 Rand. Nescafe Gold Instant Coffee 200 or 220 grams for 149.99. And Twin Saver Luxury White 2-ply toilet rolls, 24 per pack for 159.99. Valid until 1 March, only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
When the brightest brains collide in the biggest general knowledge quiz in Gauteng, it's time for the Brain of 702.
Time now to flex your brain muscles, display your brilliance, prove your mental might. 1,500 Rand up for grabs this round, and there'll be more of the same later this afternoon. We're getting ever closer to the finals. Today, I've got two contestants. Daniel, who won with 6 points yesterday. Daniel?
Good morning, Bongani.
How are you feeling this morning?
Very well, yourself.
Good. What's your strong point?
Africa.
Africa. Everything geography to do with Africa, hey?
Correct.
All right, let's see if you can keep up that successful run. You're up against Marco. Marco, have you played Brain before?
Yes, Bongani, quite a few years ago.
Quite a few years ago, and you think you're as sharp as ever, hey?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. All right, you both know how it works. I've got up to 15 questions. You must answer as many as you can correctly in 60 seconds. The scores are tied. We will, of course, play sudden death. Daniel, you are up first. Are you ready?
Ready.
KG, start the clock.
3, 2, 1.
Name the second last vowel in the alphabet.
U.
It's O.
Ooh.
Spell the word haywire.
Pass.
Haywire. Complete the saying. You work your fingers to the what?
To the ball.
Correct. True or false? The seahorse is the world's smallest fish.
True.
It's false. Which word means impressive in appearance? Deposing or imposing?
Deposing.
Imposing. The world's strongest man in 2025 was South Africa's Reno who?
Pass.
Nell, true or false? The speed of light is about 300,000 kilometers per hour.
True.
It's false. An archipelago is a cluster of what?
Pass.
Islands. From which Paris museum did thieves steal pieces of the French crown jewels? The Louvre is the answer we were looking for there. Really, really rough one for you, Daniel. One correct answer, hey? One correct answer, but you just never know. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully you can get a miracle. Marco?
Yes, Bongani.
Couldn't be easier for you, could it?
Absolutely.
One or better to stay in the game. That wicked, wicked laugh, Marco. You just never know. You never know. KG, start the clock.
3, 2, 1.
Name the third vowel in the alphabet.
I.
Correct. Spell the word hearsay.
Heresay.
Hearsay. Complete the saying. You'll have to eat humble what?
Pie.
Correct. True or false? There are no fish in the Dead Sea.
True.
Correct. Which word means die down? Subside or reside?
Subside.
Correct. In which province is the Capricorn region?
Pass.
Limpopo. The UFC middleweight champion who lost his title in 2025 was Dricus who?
Van der Walt.
Duplessis. True or false? The speed of sound is about 700 kilometers per hour.
False.
Correct. In geography, a range is a group of what?
Just repeat that.
In geography, a range is a group of what?
Mountains.
Mountains is correct. Mountains is absolutely correct. Yeah, I think there's no guessing, there's no drama around that. Marco, you walk away with 6 correct answers. And that means you, my friend, have won 1,500 Rand. So, Marco, you'll play again this afternoon with John Pullman. And if you win in that round, you will be the brain of the day. You've got to try and stay in the running because there's 10,000 Rand up for grabs tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you so very much, Bongani.
Good luck to you and hard luck there, Daniel. Just not having the easiest of rounds.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Morning, PP, your team and the listeners. Yeah, you know, the album Thriller. Album Thriller, man. You know, and it continues to thrill both the young and the old. You know, this album, Bongani, is not just an album. It's an institution. It's an institution. And I can tell you that much. You know, this album, you know, the impact of this album is both, you know, psychological and physical. No doubt about it. Molefe here. Cheers.
Every night she walks right in my dreams. Since I met her from the start, I'm so proud I am the only one who is special in her heart. The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. I know she's mine. Because the doggone girl is mine. I don't understand the way you think, saying that she's yours, not mine. Sending roses and your silly dreams, really just a waste of time, because she's mine. The doggone girl is mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine. I love you more than he. Take you anywhere. Well, I love you endlessly. Love it we will share. So come and go with me to one town. But we both cannot have her, so it's one or the other. And one day you'll discover that she's my girl forever and ever. Don't fill your hopes to be let down, 'cause I really feel it's time. I know she'll tell you I'm the one for her, 'cause she said I blow her mind. The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine. She's mine. She's mine. No, 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 she's mine. The girl is 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 mine. Mine, mine. Yep, she's mine. Mine, mine. The girl is mine. Mine, mine. Yes, she's mine. Mine, mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine. Girl is mine.
Michael, we're not going to fight about this, okay?
Paul, I think I told you I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I've heard it all before, Michael. She told me that I'm her forever lover, you know, don't you remember?
Well, after loving me, she said she couldn't love another.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, she said it. You keep dreaming. I don't believe it. No, the girl is mine. No, mine. You're mine. She mine.
So the story is Michael Jackson had released, I think it was his 5th studio album, Off the Wall. Fantastic R&B album, sold over 10 million records. Got only 1 Grammy, hugely crushed. Needed to make a crossover album. What better way than to record a duet with one of the Beatles, which is how The Girl Is Mine came up with Paul McCartney. And the rest was history. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan has returned to Parliament today to continue giving evidence before the O'Sullivan's appearance will be followed by former acting police commissioner Komotso Phahlane, who also has unfinished business with the committee. Their appearance